You know, I'm excited about our Sanford events because it's going to be my opportunity, or my first opportunity, to check out the brand new current seafood bar in Sanford.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It looks gorgeous. I mean, I don't want to say I'm cheating on my Ivanhoe location that I go to with my family.
Yeah.
But this one is beautiful. And if you're looking for that quick counter service seafood, great northeastern beers, $7 cocktails that'll, scald your lips.
Yeah.
The
black and mahi sandwich.
Yeah, the current seafood bar, the current seafood counter.
Yep.
This is where you need to go.
And the brand new location in Sanford is right across the street from Hollabox.
Yeah.
And if you want a black and mahi sandwich, you want a lobster roll, you want peony shrimp, fried shrimp.
Why do we love fish sandwiches and beer?
You're in Florida.
A fish,
that's why, yeah.
but there's something about the combo. You get yourself, they have this beer that I love. Here's what you order. Get yourself a loose cannon.
Okay.
It's a high-octane beer. It's going to knock your shoes off. And then get yourself, the Old Bay fries are right under that sandwich. The heat from the fries is coming up.
Oh, yeah,
and it's warming the bun. And your sandwich is a black and mahi. And you got lettuce, tomato, red onion with a little bit of tartar sauce. Just a touch.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of Old Bay on the fries.
So good.
Then you dash a little bit of malt vinegar on those fries.
Yeah.
And then you take a pull off that beer. Oh, my God. I'm making my mouth water.
If you want delicious seafood, the Current has two locations, like Daniel said, a brand new one in Sanford across from Hollabox and the Current Seafood Counter in College Park.
Yep.
Go to both of them. You won't regret it.
And tell them we sent you, because they like to hear that. It does get back to us, and we are a small business. They are as small business as it gets. So support small by letting them know you go there.
Go eat some Current. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the line with us right now,
a very big deal.
Yeah, a comedy legend. He's going to be at the Funny Bone. Get your tickets. Our buddy Amy LaCours is opening for George.
We love Amy, and we love this gentleman. You actually got to meet him a very long time ago.
In Vegas.
You don't remember, in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we are very lucky to have him stopping in Orlando, Florida at the Funny Bone. Tom, who we got on the line?
Comedian George Wallace is on the line. How you doing, George?
I feel good all over. I can't be that big. You got my number.
You're right. No, but you know what, George?
Talk about his voicemail.
George, you're the type of guy that has probably always done business this way. And I'm surprised, like other big comedians that do this as well. You don't have to go through the publicist. They're like, just call me. Like old school. You're a hard worker.
It's real.
Yeah, you're real.
That's
George.
right. Just call me. I'm one of you. I'm one of us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, George, how long have you been doing comedy now? I'm just going to throw it out there. How long?
Longer than you've been alive. I've been doing comedy for 49 years, and I still can't get it right, but I'm still working on it.
George, you're not going to believe this. I am 49 years of age.
Oh, my God. Yeah, 1976, Jerry Seinfeld and George Wallace started together. We're still best friends for 49 years, and we're trying to get it right.
Yeah,
that is amazing, George.
George, you were the best man at Jerry Seinfeld's wedding, correct?
I'm the real George. I'm his roommate for 13 years. I'm the best man in his wedding. And you're not going to believe this, but I'm the father of his kids also.
I believe that. I actually believe that.
So, George, I'm curious, like, you've been doing it for so long. What have you personally seen change the most in stand-up comedy?
Absolutely. The most is going to be social media, okay? But funny is still funny no matter how you do it. But the new kids today, they really got it made. And I applaud them because we had to go through TV. And when I grew up, we only had three stations, CBS, ABC, and NBC. We had the Tonight Show. But the new comedians, they don't have to have a TV show. They can make their own TV show in the house, in their own room, in their underwear, all naked.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, though, in some ways, though, that, there are some people that say, okay, everybody has it, it's all out there, and you could do it if you want to, then where are these magical people doing it? Are they doing it the same way, or are they not learning the grind that you had to learn because...
The adversity.
Yeah, thank you.
It does not matter. It's, the new way, I don't know how to do it, but it's the way up today.
Gotcha.
And they are making it happen. There's some kids out there that never seen a TV, and they put asses in the seats.
Yeah.
And that's all people are concerned about. They got a following. I applaud that. I do it the hard way. I go out and work, and I'm from the advertising world. Put your business in the street, but that's how I do it. Any way you can do it, get it done. Just as long as you love comedy and love to do it, and be true to yourself, and people love you. That's all you got to do is make people laugh, and they come to see it.
So, George, like the life of a stand-up, to me, people never think about the travel, element of it. And, like most people, George, and you know this, like they travel, 2 times a year at most? And maybe fly 1 time a year and or a couple times, and that's it. And then the life of a stand-up, you are just on the road, traveling, living in hotels.
And you know what? I'm one of those freaks that I love hotels. If I'm at home for like 3 or 4 days, it's time for me to go. I'm on the airplane. Yeah, I'm on the airplane for at least 4 times a week. And a lady explained it to me one time. People say, you should stay at home. There's no money at my house.
Yeah, right. And it's, and you, George, I'm sure you're wired that you, you've got an internal grind in you. You got to get up and keep moving. And, being in your house would probably, drive you crazy. What did you do during COVID when you couldn't work?
I stayed in my house for 2.5 years. But you know what? I did the Zooming, and I called guys like you guys, and I still got it done. And we had COVID shows, and I think it's in some way, I'm still laughing. I had to get that. It did screw me up, though, COVID. I lost, 5 friends, so that screwed me up. And,
man.
They didn't have COVID. They just owed me money. And,
yes! They got me bigger now.
So we got to make people laugh no matter what. I had a good time. I did TV shows. I did everything I needed to do, from Jimmy Kimmel to everything. And it worked out for me, and I'm still doing it.
Well, you haven't slowed down. You still act, you still do shows, you still do movies, you still do comedy, obviously. What's your favorite to do? Is it always comedy?
Always live, always in front of people, a personal appearance in front of the audience. I have a new TV show out there right now called Clean Slate. Instead of Sanford and Son, it's Sanford and Daughter. I love doing that, but nothing is better than coming to a live stage like the Funny Bone in Orlando. And you know what? I haven't been to Orlando in 12 years. So I got some new customers, clients, fans that need to come out and see what joy. I'm a real comedian, and that's what I call myself, a real comedian.
I agree.
One of the kings, one of the goats, and I just like having fun. And I have older people, younger people, everybody coming out. But I really need to introduce myself to this new younger market. And it's working out, and we're having lots of fun.
Well, I will tell you that the comedians in Orlando, Amy, other people that we know, certainly were really happy that you've decided.
Now, I put Amy on because I just feel so sorry for her. She was trying to do comedy the other night. She was so bad. I said, let me put this lady on my stage. If I talk about you bad, that means I like you.
I love that you do something that I do, and let me ask you personally if you ever turn it off. It seems like you're always having fun, and you are always joking. Now, when you're supposed to joke, do you turn it off sometimes? Because I don't, and sometimes I get in trouble with the wife sometimes.
I don't know how to turn it off because it's in me, it's a part of me, and first of all, it's me. If I go to a funeral, you're gonna laugh. Laughter is healing for the soul. And when you stop laughing, you stop living. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, man.
So that's one thing I have 4 L's in my life. I have learning, listening, loving, laughing, and I'm not going to lie to you. I lie, but I love to lie. I love the makeup stuff. I got the best job in the world. And that's what we're going to do. As soon as I get your lineup, we're going to be talking about everything on I-Drive, I-Boulevard, whatever it is. I going to be there. So it's going to be
Again, he's going to be at the Funny Bone. You're going to want to get your tickets because, again, the tickets are going to go really fast.
Go to the second show. Go to the second show because that's when I come out naked, and I'm guaranteed laughs when I walk out.
George, now you mentioned you don't do social media.
I do social media, but I'm not as good at it.
Gotcha.
I have almost 1 million people on X, and
wow.
I did some what do you call it? I can't even call it TikTok and some Instagram, but I don't do it as well as I should.
Do you feel like because I feel like you're an in-person person, and the fact that you want to interact with humans in person.
It's an energy exchange.
Yeah, and of why you've been performing for so long. You exchange energy with a crowd. It's instant, and I feel like the comments on social media is probably empty to you, right?
Someone in some ways I'm talking to you guys on the phone right now, but you know what would make me much happier if I was sitting there with you guys? Oh my God, that would be great.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
So I
Like when
can really see how bad you guys look in person.
oh, George, I look real bad. George, I'm real bad.
You look real bad.
Yeah, I'm growing my beard and my hair out. At a 49-year-old man, I'm growing my hair and my beard out. I look like a homeless.
Same here.
It looks bad. It looks real bad, George.
The same here. And I have to always alert people that when I come to, now in Las Vegas, people, it costs $250 to see me in Las Vegas. I want the people to know in Orlando, when you come see me, it's going to be $35, $45. And that's the kind of jokes you're going to get, okay? I want you to know right off the bat, you're not getting my best stuff for $250. Okay?
George, weren't you going to run for the mayor of Las Vegas at one point back in 06?
No, that's just lying. People, I wish I was mayor. I wish I was president. All kind of stupid stuff I do, and people think I'm serious. I just make up stuff. It's the greatest job in the world.
Another one of his lies.
That was under Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're trying to make jokes is really cool. Right now, I'm working on a joke. The word worser. There's bigger, better, thicker, longer, harder, whatever. But there's no such thing as worser. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you worse off today? No, how do you say it? Hey, help me with the joke.
I'm worse off.
Well, I'm more worse. See, I'm more worse. If you use the word long enough, you'll find ways that where you can use worse. And we're going to make that popular.
I love that this energy that you have. You sound exactly like when we interviewed you years ago when Tom met you in Las Vegas.
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
It's literally like you don't age. There's got to be some secret to that, though. I mean, like, do you take care of yourself? Do you take care of your health? Is that serious to you?
Hell no. I'm waiting for New Year's Eve. Everybody has a New Year's resolution to lose weight. My New Year's resolution is going to be to gain weight. I'm going to Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I got a problem with Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's. You know what? And, you ever get a pint of ice cream and you eat it on the way back to the freezer, you eat another half, and you get to the freezer, you go, I can't put this back in there. So you just,
I just eat
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I just eat it.
I do that.
Oh, another thing I've been talking about that's very interesting about Baskin-Robbins, we talk about ice cream, 31 flavors.
Yeah.
I used to do a joke like, all our lives, 31 flavors, no progress whatsoever. I just found out what the 31 represents. Do you know?
No.
When they started the ice cream, they wanted a flavor for every day of the month.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That's a good...
Listen, isn't that good to know? Let me tell you another thing. When you see the B on Baskin-Robbins, the back of the B is a 3, and the front of the R is a 1. That's 31.
B-R, and it's 3-1. Yeah, he's right.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I did not
know a lot about ice cream. You're an ice cream man.
I do love ice cream. I only eat a pint a week or something like that. Have you ever had Chunky Monkey?
Oh, I love Chunky Monkey.
Oh, my God, Chunky Monkey is my favorite one. At my funeral, I want everybody to have a pint of Haagen-Dazs, whatever it is.
Yeah. Ben & Jerry's, Chunky Monkey, 31.
Yeah. Sit up with a spoon. And when you go to funerals, why can't we eat at the funeral? Why we got to go to the graveyard and come back?
You're all right.
Just have the meal.
I want to talk about these things in Orlando. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
awesome.
Sir. At the Funny Bone.
Get your tickets. Go see a legend. Also, Amy LaCours is awesome. We have her on the show all the time, and Amy's the one that,
she's really excited to be working with you, man. This is going to be super fun. And
do you guys do stand-up?
No, we don't. We're not that talented.
Not that talented, sir.
You are, too. You're entertaining. Now, you should stop by and go up on stage one night. You can do 25 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever.
I'm going to do 25. You worked out a solid 25.
25 is an eternity.
I don't care. I'm the one taking the check home. You can stay up there as long as you can.
George, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We really appreciate it. Again, you're going to be at the Funny Bone this weekend. So get your tickets. And, again, it was a pleasure talking to you,
we'll see you soon, George.
I appreciate you. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, okay? I'm already.
All right, man. Love you, too. Man. Bye-bye. What a good dude. How do you have that much?
God.
How do you do that
71.
How do you do that for the 27,000th time?
Yeah.
And still put 100% into it with all the jokes, and you don't sound bitter or jaded. Because he does really love it. Right?
It's his personality.
Yeah, he really loves it.
It's, it's like...
What an authentic gentleman. I might go see that if I can pull it off.
You're always joking. Like, that's just who he is. There's some people, like, wired that way, and it's just like everything... Your brain is all... He
would have made a good dad. You know, just like, you know what I mean? What a fun dad.
Does he have kids?
We could have asked him that, but we're bad interviewers.
well, I don't know.
I don't like picking into stuff. Sometimes it's like, do you have a kid? Yeah, he died.
But he'd be an awesome grandpa.
Yeah,
that'd be a superstar grandpa.
Cool, funny black grandpa. He's cool looking too.
I wish he was my grandpa.
He wears a backwards Kangol hat. That's the coolest hat you can wear.
And he just shows up talking mad ass, making fun of everybody.
Who died in this coffin, mother effer?
Just razzing every single person there.
Where the ice cream at? Oh man,
talking
fun black grandpas here. This is awesome.
God, that'd be fun. Imagine him at Thanksgiving just talking ass about it, but just making fun of everybody, the whole family, roasting everybody. Like I'd just be there so happy the entire time. Like he's just roasting all of your uncles and your mom.
I could tell that my family, I don't get the same reaction. I could tell that they're like, oh my God, shut up. Go to bed.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, his family. That's not the problem, Lord. It's all dependent on your scenario.
We'd have to interview them, right?
Yeah.
We'd have to interview the Wallaces. They'd be like, okay, guys, real talk. He's gone. We sent him to Beefy King to get some sandwiches.
Yeah.
You can talk freely now. What do you think about his chirping?
They've got it their entire life. You see what I'm saying? So they're tired of it.
73 years of it. I've only put in 49.
Like I'm getting a little piece of it, and I'm like, yes. It's so good.
And I think he does go hard too, because he's done it so long. He may say a few things that hurt your feelings. Talking about your weight or something. Like start slapping your belly around.
But you could no. It has no.
It's in love.
Yeah, it's all for love. Which is pretty awesome, and it's God, what an awesome.
Somebody pull a clip of Tom saying "all for love."
I don't know. It could be.
Is that the only time you've ever said "all for love"?
He could have hung up the phone. He's like, "Cracker ass, cracker."
I hope he did.
Honkies.
Yeah, I hope he would. He hangs up and he's like, "White devil, mother effers." That'd be great.
Yeah, but you're right. He's done that for tens of thousands of times, these interviews and all stuff, and it still shows up a hardcore, puts in max effort. Like I respect that so much. Like someone who throughout their career just puts in effort every time.
He whole asses it.
Yeah.
He never half-asses it.
Yeah. Because why? Because at this point, it's like you've made a commitment to yourself to try your hardest, no matter big, small, whatever. He doesn't know our show. Nobody could be listening to.
Nobody knows our show.
No, but it's literally he could be doing this for no reason, and he still puts in max effort. Like puts in the same effort he did when he's talking to some radio show in New York.
Talking to Howard Stern. He puts in the same effort.
Yeah.
Which that's pro mentality.
Yes. That is pro mentality.
Yeah, that's like when you have Michael Jordan who puts in the same effort against the Lakers that he does against the worst team in the NBA. He's playing the Grizzlies or somebody.
Yeah.
And he goes full, like how many? Why? That's why he gets 80 points against the worst team.
Yeah.
A couple of little just topics I wanted to throw out to you. The first one is, are you a Wendy's man? Out of all I know neither of us are really fast food guys anymore. Not that we really were, but.
I will tell you, I would prefer a Wendy's over a McDonald's or Burger King hamburger.
Me too. If I have my pick, Maisie likes Five Guys. That's where she likes to get
I don't count that as fast food, really.
Okay.
Like, that's new kind of counter service. That's not fast food.
Okay, fair.
Like a drive-through traditional fast food is Wendy's, Taco Bell, McDonald's, and Burger King.
It turns out
KFC.
Wendy's is planning to close hundreds of U.S. residents over the next few months. And, whenever I see something like this, not that it's like breaking news or not that I really have a connection, but there is a weird part of me, nostalgia-wise, that goes, uh-oh, they're coming to get you, Wendy's. And Wendy's there's a special place of nostalgia in Wendy's to me because it was my father's favorite hamburger, and we became a Wendy's family. It was all based around the Wendy's Super Bar. The bar that had tacos and spaghetti and salad, and Wendy's was having a time. Wendy's was having a moment in the late 80s, early 90s.
You know what got me with Wendy's when I was in my 20s is that Crystal was a vegetarian and they had the baked potato. They also had Wendy's chili.
Dude, that chili on a baked potato was really good.
Yes, yeah. The Wendy's chili wasn't bad. It was a decent chili.
Yeah, it still is. They sell it now at any grocery store. You can buy a can of Wendy's chili, which makes me sad.
Maybe that was their downfall, is that they tried to have like a because I would put Wendy's, as far as food quality, one step ahead of McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell.
I agree.
I feel like whatever they did, I would put their quality, even though that could be a lie.
But it slipped. But something happened. The heyday for me, Wendy's, was when they introduced that spicy chicken sandwich that was truly spicy. It would burn your mouth.
Yes.
That was when I was it was that heyday. They had eliminated Super Bar. Some locations still had potatoes. They still had the fries, and it was right before they went to the fresh cut fries.
Okay.
When they went to the fresh cut fries, the fries sort of looked the same, but they had little bits of potato skin on them. That was their downfall.
Hold on.
That was their
Why
downfall.
was that their downfall?
The fries weren't as good. You needed they should have kept all Biggie branding. When they eliminated Biggie branding, they hurt themselves immensely. Even though they should have held fast. I know why they got rid of it. Health companies villainized anything that was called Biggie because we're a whole country of Biggies.
Yeah, it started with the old Super Size Me.
Yeah.
And then it's Super Size, and everybody's like,
I can't say that. And then Biggie was even worse. It was like they had fat ass size, when you went to get. And my dad loved the goddamn Biggies. He had a yellow Biggie. It was like 48 ounces of Coke. And
because when you order, you're like, give me the Biggie size, and then you feel sad about yourself.
But there was a time when I think that you didn't feel bad about yourself because they're like, do you want Biggie size? And you're like, Biggie size it, and that was fine. But then they were like, you're like, Biggie size it, and they're like, well, do you want regular Biggie or Biggie? And I was like, oh, dude, give me Biggie, and then you felt bad about yourself because Biggie was regular Biggie. They just tricked you because they put in a smaller Biggie. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're like, I'm Biggie. Maybe it's because they did try to have a step up in quality of food, and now it seems like less people are eating fast food, and the people that are still consuming a lot of fast food don't care about quality. Maybe. And then Wendy's is like, hey, amongst the fast food community, we cared about quality, and that doesn't exist as much anymore because the quality people left fast food. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you some data. U.S. fast food chains have been struggling to attract lower income customers in the past few years as inflation has raised prices. President of Wendy's says he expects lower income consumers to remain pressured for the rest of the year. In the first 9 months of this year, Wendy's said its U.S. same-store totals or sales of locations open at it fell. They basically fell by 5% across the board. Wendy's revenue fell 2% to $1.63 billion in the same period, while its net income fell 6% to $138.6 million.
Have you seen the trend of them building a stereotypical fast food box structure that they seemingly can just turn into any brand of fast food?
That.
I saw them building it on 436. There was a row of them, and they just turned into one's like a Chick-fil-A, one's
no. I don't like that.
And it looks like they built it in mind that this will change brands, and they could easily flip them.
I mean, it's smart.
Yeah.
I mean, it is smart. I mean, we all learned from the old, look at all the Chinese restaurants that are Pizza Huts now,
Yeah.
I kind of like
the building having any sort of features that differentiate themselves are gone now.
Taco Bells don't have anymore. There used to be a time when a Taco Bell looked like the Alamo, and that was when that's when I felt the most comfortable as an American. Yeah. I felt like a patriot then.
Yeah. I'm going to the Alamo.
But it had the bell, dude. It had a Can you buy an original? That's what I'm buying for my garage. I want an original bell from an Alamo-shaped Taco Bell to put in my grandpa garage. Do you think they sell that? The original? Because there used to be a bell.
Exists. Yes,
It looked like
the Alamo bell.
It looked like a mission.
Yeah.
And there'd be a bell at the top that you ring when the federales are coming or whatever, right? Taco Bell Store bell for sale.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out. Join the chat room. Say hi to all the wonderful people that are in there right now. Like, see, if you were in there right now, you would get to see our guest. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but we will get there momentarily. Let's plug our Beer Fest real quick.
Yep, we've got a free Beer Fest November 22nd, and on November 23rd, the day after, is the Sanford Sofa Races.
Yes, sir.
Both free events. Come enjoy the day, and because one's a free beer festival where you can get unlimited samples of beer.
You got to have a photo
music.
ID. Bring the family, bring the pets, bring grandma. Yeah. It's a family-friendly event, but you have to be 21 and up to drink.
And on the next day, we're racing couches with wheels on them through the streets of Sanford.
Yeah, and shall we?
Yep,
you want to
do it?
All right, here we go. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
On Zoom with us right now, Orlando news legend Amy Caulfield is out here. How you doing, Amy?
You guys, that's the best intro I have ever seen. You can do our intros at Fox 35 because that was amazing.
I will gladly come and do intros at Fox 35. In fact,
that was pre-AI too.
KC, well, we were talking to KC there at Fox 35. I bet you he can scrounge up my old double dose of Homer Simpson song I did. I did a song for Fox 35 where it was, it's a double dose.
Yeah, I was there with you.
And you and I were dancing and singing. And I think I've written songs professionally for Fox for a very long time. They just hide me in a closet somewhere. Hey, Amy, so glad to have you here.
You could be still getting residuals on that, too.
Well, you know what?
Amazing.
It ran for a very long time, but hey, thank you so much for doing Weird Job Wednesday. It's not very often.
I love you guys. I'm so happy to be here.
Tom, you set this up. It's not very often that we get like a heavy hitter on Weird Job Wednesday. Yeah. We usually get a nobody, you know?
And this is a truly weird job, being a news anchor.
It is.
So, Amy, let's go back to the beginning. How did this even come about? Because I know you moved to Central Florida in 2003.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? 22 years I've been here. So I kind of, when I was a little kid, I really wanted to be an astronaut. Like, that was my big thing. And I grew up, during the space shuttle days, and I just thought that was like, that's the coolest job, right? And then in 7th grade, they wheeled the TVs into our classroom for us to watch the Challenger go up because a teacher was going to go up on the Challenger.
Yes.
And it just like that just ripped my heart out. When that Challenger, we lost that Challenger and that crew, I was like, wow, this is like this job may not be all butterflies and and roses. This is what they do is really hard, and in some cases, you could die doing this job. And I thought maybe I don't want to do that job anymore. So that kind of take that dream and put it on the back burner. And then I loved writing. And so I really was interested in, I love to write, creative writing, essays, whatever. I started writing for my high school newspaper. And then I love that so much. I was like, you know what, maybe I'll go into college and do journalism. So I picked journalism as my major. I ended up doing broadcasting, and I went to Miami of Ohio, which is a kind of a mid-sized school in Oxford, Ohio. It's halfway between Dayton and Cincinnati. And I started working at the NPR station, which was WMUB. It was W and then Miami University Broadcasting.
Gotcha.
And so it was crazy. My roommates, my college girlfriends would be coming home from going out, and I was doing the morning show for free because, as you guys know, there are no paid internships.
No.
So I would get up. at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to be in the radio station by 4 to prep the show. And so I would be going to work and my roommates would be like, dragging their butts in the house from being at Uptown all night.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of where I bit the bug for broadcasting. I started in radio and I loved it. One, I didn't have to get ready for work. I could just like get up and put my hair in a ponytail and go, which was amazing.
Yeah. How did you make the transition from like some people, they start in radio and then they just stay there and die, like me and Tom. How did you make the transition, and did it have everything to do with you're not a hideous ghoul like me and Tom? Like, I'm looking at you right now via Zoom. If you're not joining us,
the ghouls stay in radio.
Yeah, if you're not on Twitch right now, if you're not on YouTube, then you can't see that in your top right-hand corner, that's me, total ghoul. And if you look on the bottom left-hand corner, not a ghoul. So
you look around, you're like, I'm getting the hell out of here, going to the land of TV.
Did you look around in radio and you're like, I'm surrounded by ghouls. I have to get out of here. Is that what happened?
No, but I loved radio and I think I would have stuck with it, but then I went and did a couple of TV internships. So I did one at this NBC station in Columbus, summer. Again, not paid. And then I did another internship at the NBC station in Dayton, Ohio.
Nice.
And that's where I was like, oh, this whole TV thing is really fun, But I got to say, and you guys will appreciate this, I just remember when I was driving into the parking lot at WCMH in Columbus to intern, again, for free. I mentioned that many times, is that you would drive past all the salespeople's cars and they were like driving like Mercedes and Lexuses and like, wow, the salespeople have all the nice cars. And then you would get to where the news people's cars were and it was all like Yugos and, a Hyundai with like only 3 tires or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute. I thought the on-air personalities were the rich ones. It turns out the sales. The head of sales. I want to find the richest person in the media, head of sales.
Correct. Right. So maybe we all still picked like the wrong side of the business to go into, but yeah. So, but I loved the TV aspect of it. I thought it was really cool. I had some great mentors at some of those TV stations that really guided me. And so I put together, I would just bug photographers while I was out on stories with the reporters. I'd be like, hey, will you shoot a pretend stand up for me? And then I would put together a tape. Back in the olden days, you put together a tape, you would edit a tape together, and then you would get all these like, I don't know, I'm sure you guys did the same thing, right? You would go to the post office and you would have a pile and you would mail them off and you would just keep your fingers crossed and hope somebody would call you.
So Amy,
I still remember making tapes, and that's not even, it's so much easier to do that now. Like, I still remember having to cut using razor blades, but that's a conversation for a different time.
So Amy, I got so many questions for you, but first, like the path for a news anchor, a TV anchor is a grind that a lot of people don't know about, and it is truly working your way up from markets and then shopping yourself out and having to move and your family and stuff and sometimes you have to move multiple times and radio too. Me and Daniel kind of have a unique experience in media, especially radio, because we never had to deal with that. Like, we were essentially at the same radio station for a long time,
unheard of.
And then all of a sudden we now just moved to our own company for a long time. Like, we never had to do the move to different markets type of deal.
I thought I was going to,
but
you did.
I did. Yeah, I had a couple of offers in different areas, but to be honest with you, I was very scared and could never really pull the trigger. I was too young to do it, and luckily, I found Real Radio, so I got lucky.
But Amy, let's talk about that grind and the moving your way up through the markets. And does that still exist? And like, how was it back in the day?
Yeah, it does, but it's not to the extent that it did back when I started. So I sent out these tapes everywhere, right? And so the way TV markets work, there's, number one being the largest market, that would be New York City. It works all the way down. Number 2 is LA. Number 3, Chicago. Number 4, Dallas. And so, the markets are ranked just like with radio. And so here in Orlando, we're market 15, which is, a decent sized market. When I got here, I think we were 20. We just keep growing, which is wild.
In radio, I think we're like 34 or something, that's probably changed, but that's big.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy how fast we grow. And as you guys know too, it depends on sort of what your viewing area or your listening viewing area is. So for us, Orlando covers Melbourne and Daytona Beach, and so that adds to the viewership and goes as far north as Marion County, Sumter County, and so we have a pretty big viewing area. But so I sent these tapes out, and the first legit call that I got was in market 186, which is Great Falls, Montana. And so I just remember it was like I had waited all summer. Like I wasn't getting very many calls. I got a call from El Paso, Texas. They were going to offer me minimum wage to be a reporter. I was like, minimum wage? I don't even remember what it was at that time, but I was like, how am I going to survive on that?
It's crazy.
Yes. It's insane. So I get this call from Dick Pompa, my very first news director, Great Falls, Montana. He calls me. He says, we want to hire you as our weekend anchor. I had never been on television before, other than doing these fake stand-ups, in these internships. And so my mom got in the car with me, and we packed up my Nissan Altima, and we drove to Great Falls, Montana from Ohio. It took us 3 or 4 days to get there. And my mom moves me into this terrible apartment. It was like shag carpet. It was an efficiency. So it had a little mini fridge, a little mini stove. It had a bed. It was furnished. The mattress was so bad that they had put a board under it, because if they didn't, your butt was going to literally hit the floor. It was terrible. I had a sheet over the couch because it was so dirty. And that's where I lived. And I made $18,000 a year. And I rationed my money so that I could afford to go to the grocery store. And it was honestly probably one of the best experiences I had in broadcasting.
You threw us a real number, too, and I just got to tell you, Tom is a big fan of the real number. When we get the real number, $18K.
That's not a livable wage.
No. $18K is about what you would spend to have your daughter dance at a dance studio in Orlando.
Right.
I might know that.
So, Amy, how weird is it? Because I went through a little bit of this where I was on the radio at part-time at a time where I was getting some airtime, and then people would meet you and be like, oh, you're famous. And I was 10 times poorer than they were. You know what I'm saying? And they just think because you're on the radio or on TV that you're immediately rich. I'm sure you went through that, right? Where it's why are you this poor?
Listen, and I was excited about $18,000 a year. This other offer in El Paso was minimum wage. I was like, man, I'm actually banking. But then the funny part was I get there to be weekend anchor, and the news director's like, you know what? Our main anchor just left. We're just going to make you the main anchor. Well, did I ask for a raise? No. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll do whatever you need me to do.
No, so, Amy, the company absorbs the salary of the person that left, and you get nothing. And you put his or her hat on.
They just made you
just do what they did.
They just made you the main anchor.
For $18K.
Yeah, wow, that's a steal.
And I was also the producer, and we didn't have computers. Now, there was a TV station next door. They did have computers. We did not. We had typewriters. And so, I would type up my scripts, and I would roll the feed tapes, and I ran my own teleprompter, and I was producer, so I would back time the show with a stopwatch on the set. So that we would get in and out on time. But
she's freaking me out with the back timing and stuff, because this is all stuff I had to do. You're freaking me out. These are not things that people do anymore.
Well, you don't have to. A computer does them.
Computer does it. Yeah, computer does it.
Yep. So I would back time the show, and it was the show was basically out of the half-hour show, there was 20 minutes that we had to fill, and 4 minutes for sports, 4 minutes for weather, and then we got the rest. And so that was what I had to fill with the time, and it was crazy, you guys. But you guys know it's. Those first jobs, the experience is so incredible. You learn so much. You get over so many fears. And it was funny. You guys will appreciate this story. So one day we're in the newsroom, and their only other station in town was a CBS station. We were the ABC. And so we would have the CBS station on in the background, just so we're monitoring what's going on. Well, Dan Rather pops up with a breaking news update. And the breaking news was that the Unabomber had just been arrested in Lincoln, Montana.
Oh, wow.
Which was 20 minutes down the road from where we were. And we were like, holy crap, we got to go. And so we all load up, in our crappy little news cars with our crappy equipment. And we drive down to where the Unabomber was just arrested, in this tiny town in Montana. And you guys remember the little cabin, and they had a cabin on the back of this flatbed truck and dragged it away. And I mean, that was it was the biggest story in the world. And it was in our backyard, and we were just clueless, had no idea. But that's small market TV, you know?
There is an element of cutting your teeth in, like, it's kind of like media boot camp starting up, because in most media scenarios, you, like, especially back in the day, you started as an intern. You worked your way literally from nothing, from getting people coffee to learning how to do jobs, from bosses telling you, you do this job now. And then you just learning to do it. Like, it's all, and people too, with, like, especially small town media, they think it's more professional and corporate than it is. It's like a lot of times it's a skeleton crew
and it's
putting
relationships.
Together.
These people are like really good friends. They're like you just
no
said,
one has a budget.
You were your own producer, but think about how much more you learned having to do that, right? Like
yes.
I started doing radio at a time when you did need to know how to cut your own commercial, edit it, pick your background music, voice your own. Like if you had a spot, it was up to you to voice your own spot or you didn't get paid. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad I did that. I mean, good thing I did it, or we wouldn't have had an editor here. You know what I mean? Like, I hammered that stuff a lot, and it's a good thing I did.
I would have waited for AI. I'm like, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. It's getting there.
So, Amy, I've been waiting to ask you this question, and then
I don't know where he's going either. This is gonna be crazy.
Uh-oh.
And it's like when we really started analyzing, like when we were in there on Good Day Orlando the other day with Colette, and we just seen you guys operate. I'm just super impressed.
It's really cool,
and to me it's high stress, because although I have been in radio and now we have cameras and whatever, but it's not as big of a deal. It doesn't, not even a small amount of percentage of the people are watching.
Oh my God, no.
But the when I look around and I see you perform and do your job, I'm like, man, this is high stress, because you've got cameras on, you're reading a teleprompter, and so this question goes back to the time when social media really started picking apart anything you did, and there was flaws or whatever. And you started 21 years ago, and there was the beginnings of social media, but you must have seen the evolution where, like,
it's instant reaction now,
where you could make a mistake 20 years ago and it wouldn't be everywhere. It wouldn't be a meme, and it would, like, and then all of a sudden I call it the mega doo-doo effect. Like you make one mistake as a news anchor, and then it could live on forever.
Yeah. Everyone knows Dee Dee Mega Doo-Doo.
Then and it's like, so one small flub, and we've all seen the reels of like all the different anchors, like either a lizard jumps on them.
There are channels called news anchor bloopers.
So how is it living with that stress? And did you see it coming up and see the change and be like, uh-oh, now we're being extra scrutinized?
Now, it's funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm like, this is going to sound Pollyanna. I think most people are so nice. And I mean, I just really haven't experienced like people being like, sometimes they are, right? Like this happens all the time. If you bring in a politician from one political party, and a lot of times, we can't bring them on together. So maybe we'll interview a Democrat one day and a Republican one day. And so we're trying to balance it out as best we can, but we can't get them on together, whatever. Sure. And we'll get nasty emails like, why would you bring that person on? All they do is lie. You didn't push back far enough, and we get the nasty emails, stuff like that. But for the most part, people are really nice. Every now and then, you'll have somebody who says something that's like, okay, that kind of hurt my feelings. And, then I just have to brush it off and move on. But for the most part, people are really kind. And I'm so grateful. I do remember, you guys will appreciate this. This was way back in the day. This was back when the Shannon Burke show was still on the air, and I would go on that show years and years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a viewer who was picking on me because she could see my pregnant belly, and she didn't want to see like she was like, I can see your belly button protruding through your shirt, and she was like telling me that she just thought it was disgusting and I shouldn't be showing it. I don't remember whatever she said. It was like very hurtful.
I told a woman that at Olive Garden one time. I was out to eat with my family. And I said, ma'am, my family is eating. My wife's trying to have linguine.
Put a napkin over it.
Stop. But I mentioned it on Shannon Burke's show that day.
Yeah.
And the lady called in and apologized. And she was like, that was me. And she apologized and like said how bad she felt about it later or whatever. I just think, sometimes people say things and they don't realize it. It's the keyboard warriors, It's no different than anything on social media. People will say things that they would not normally say to your face. And then I think they just don't think, and I know you guys get this too, they just don't think that we're human or that we have feelings.
Yeah.
Or I think sometimes you think, especially with big time celebrities, I think that people really don't think even big time celebrities have feelings. They do, just everybody puts their pants on the same way.
I think media dehumanizes you in a certain, especially news, where you're presenting stories and it's your job to present them with no bias behind them or no inflection. It's kind of like and then with that, I think people then get trained to be like, oh, this person can handle anything. It's not like they're just presenting all these stories with no emotion.
Like we're just robots or something.
But it's your job to do that, though.
Yeah. And also, we spend a lot of time with a lot of our news anchors. I know I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm on the Peloton, jumping around on that stupid thing. And I'm always, whoever I'm watching in the morning, right? Like, there is a connection there, and it's a one-way street, right? Because you're telling me all the stuff, and the ideas or the relationship I have with you or the opinions that I form about you are really unfair because all I'm doing is consuming the stories you're telling me. It is truly unfair, but it's part of the job, I guess.
So, Amy, real quick, let's get into the job because I'm curious to what your normal day-to-day is. Do you have an idea before you go on about all the stories you're going to present? Do you go over those? Or are you so pro at this point you could do it on the fly?
A little bit of both. So it depends on the day, right? So sometimes if I have to come in extra early to anchor the early show. So our show is 7 hours now, which is insane. Ooh. When I got here, back in 2003, our morning show was just 3 hours long. It's now 7 hours long.
That's insane, Amy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot of news.
That was 7 hours.
That's a lot.
That's why I laugh whenever the producers are like, I don't think we have time for that story. I'm like, no, we have 7 hours. We can squeeze in this 20-second story somewhere. I'm sure of it, But so it depends on how early I'm coming in. But the earlier I come in, usually the less time I have prep time. But for the most part, I read. I get up in the morning. The first thing I do is I start pulling up websites. I start reading to see what are the big stories. What are people talking about? What do people care about? Obviously, it depends on the day. And if there's breaking news, that's also something that is out of our control. And when you're on the air for 7 hours, a lot of times there's breaking news during the shows. But so I usually try to read through all my scripts, try to tinker with them a little bit if I can. Sometimes I'm reading through them on the anchor desk as we're going because stuff's changing. Or sometimes, if you're anchoring the 5 or 6 o'clock show in the morning, the 8 or 9 o'clock show might not even be done yet because the producers are still working on it. So so it's kind of crazy.
And then living around here, you have hurricanes. I mean, if something happens, you're there for the duration, right? Has that changed? Is that different from being a Central Florida, anchor person where you are, once we have a storm, you're on the clock. That's just the way it goes, right? Is that expected?
Yeah, so on storms during hurricanes, we'd work 12-hour shifts. So it's 12 on, 12 off. A lot of times if the storm is bad, we do sleep here at the TV station, which is not fun, not comfortable. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Yep. So we bring, they'll provide air mattresses and we'll bring blankets and pillow and we will sleep on the floor.
That is rough.
That's rough. Can I suggest something to any news station builders out there? Just build 2 hotel rooms into the news station because we live in Florida. Hurricanes are here to stay. You're making the news anchor sleep on air mattresses on the floor and the janitor's room. Just build a hotel. Build that into your budget.
Yeah, you might as well have a room with some
You're providing a service for all of us citizens, and you guys still have to sleep on an air mattress?
I know. It's terrible. I mean, thankfully, it's not often.
Right.
It's, however.
We got pretty lucky this season.
We didn't have to do it this year at all. Knock on wood, and hopefully we still don't.
Yep.
But Yeah.
Amy,
crazy.
So I'm curious when you're reading the teleprompter, by the way, this is my greatest fear. This is probably, 99% of why I stick to radio.
And it's completely opposite because I love the teleprompter. I love it. I love the challenge of it.
Like reading something and presenting to it like I'm just saying it is crazy
Amy,
to me.
I love it.
I don't have that talent.
When we used to do Orlando City, the difference of the two of us is when they'd change our script and they'd run over and be like, here, say this. They'd hand it to me. I'd be like, ooh. I wouldn't even look at it. I'd be like, 3, 2, 1, give it to me now. And then I would just look at it. I'd be like, see if I can do it. It's like a test.
So, do you can you be Ron Burgundy? And by that I mean
no way she can.
Okay,
no way.
So your brain is interpreting what's going on before, or are you just reading the words?
Okay, I love that you said that. So I don't know if it's just the weird way my brain works, but I'm always reading a couple of words ahead of the words that are coming out of my mouth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So my brain is already processing what's to come even before I read it. So that's how we catch. That's what I say. I'm pretty good at catching typos, or mistakes in the script. And it's also about, here's the other thing. And this is hard because for morning anchors, you know how sometimes you're not awake.
Yeah.
And you're just like, the caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. I'm not awake. Or I didn't get a great night's sleep last night. That's the hardest part, is because you really do have to. There's nothing worse to me than watching someone anchor the news and they're not processing what they're saying. They're just quite literally reading what is in the teleprompter and they have no connection to what the story is. I think you can tell when someone is sort of robotic about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not present. Not
Correct.
to sound like a therapist, but yeah, it does sound like that. And yeah, you can tell when they're being distracted or when they're muddling through.
I'm hungover, Amy. How are you able to do it?
It happens, and not every listen, we do this a lot. You guys know, not every day is your A game day.
Correct.
You're gonna have days where you're like, man, I just mailed that in today, but I got through it.
I mean, that is unbelievably difficult. Because that takes a lot of brain power to be present into a story, happy then sad. It goes flip flops back and forth, and that's another impressive part to what you do for a living in presenting horrible, depressing news, and then presenting lighthearted news right after, and then you never know when it's coming. All of a sudden, you could be presenting something lighthearted, and then a tragedy happens, is breaking, that you have to switch modes, and then all of a sudden present and be present and be emotionally present with the how heavy what you're presenting is. That's crazy.
Or for instance, and I'd ask you about this. I mean, I'm sure you've been through some tough times where you're going to cover something for a year. Let's say Casey Anthony. You're going to take something that's so terrible and you're going to have to fire that up at the beginning of your newscast. I'm going to be at least 3 months of leading the newscast with this stupid story. That's hard, right? Do you have to compartmentalize that or speak to a therapist or talk to your family about it, to kind of decompress to be okay with doing that?
So it's funny you mentioned that, Dan. That's one of the hardest stories that I covered was the Casey Anthony trial, because we actually covered gavel to gavel. So we would do the morning show. And then once court would start up at 9, we would take live coverage of the trial. And so then we would hand off to the night side crew, right? So we would be on the air. So I would start my morning at 6 a.m. I would do the newscast. At 9 o'clock, we would start trial coverage. We carried the whole trial live all day long. For how long was that trial? I want to say it was 7 weeks or something.
It was a minute, yeah.
Right. So you can't help but get invested in the trial. I mean, I'm literally listening to every word, every witness, and then we would have legal experts who were in the studio with us. And so we would, anytime there was a sidebar, which you guys remember, there are a lot of sidebars.
Tons.
So we'd be like, let's go to our legal experts in the studio. And then we would ask questions and we would talk to them about what's going on. Or what did you just think about this witness testimony?
Heavy, man.
So when that verdict came down, I just remember being like, oh my gosh, and as a journalist, we're not supposed to have feelings one way or the other. We're supposed to be impartial, just like the judge, right? I'm impartial. I have no feelings one way or the other about this, person on trial. But wow. But I sat down with George and Cindy Anthony in their home before they had any idea that Casey had anything to do with this, and I just
your connection's different is my point.
Yeah.
Like you're sort of right on the sideline, and that's, to me, that's too close. That's scary. Yeah. That's a heavy weight to carry for somebody that's really not involved, but you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, you talk to these people, the story's about.
It's
and
real.
Then now, like, you have, no matter what, you interview someone, there's some personal connection, but now you have to deliver the story. Yeah, I sometimes I don't think people appreciate when they're watching the news, like, how hard your job is, and there's so many moving parts, and, like, every time I watch the news and an anchor present it, I'm like, man, this is more difficult than it seems, and they make it look easy.
But what's the most fun part? Because, we've dug into the difficult part, the hard part, the sad part. What's the part that continues to make you do it, and people around here love you? Our listeners are in the chat room. They love you. I mean, there's a reason you're still doing this. So why? Why still do this?
You know what? The fun parts are what keep you going. Okay, and I'll give you an example. This was like the coolest thing. So a couple of weeks ago, I get an email from a viewer, longtime viewer of Good Day Orlando, and she says, Amy, she goes, I know you're connected in the community and you love golden retrievers. And she's like, I've got this golden retriever. I just saw I froze, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Well, just continue. I'll start monkeying with it here. We might be overloading.
Amy, this is how much of a pro you are. You noticed that? I wasn't even paying attention. I'm staring off into the distance.
I'm checking my fantasy football. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That's not true. I'm not doing that.
I'm texting my guy Casey right now.
It's probably on our end.
Come back.
Yeah, it's probably on our end.
So sorry about that. And it's
fine.
Of course, it froze in the most painful way.
Yeah, that's not a good phrase. That is not a good phrase. Hold on, I'll make the same face you're making just to make it fair.
I like Amy. Amy's like, I'm such a pro that while I'm telling you the story, I'll have Daniel log me into his computer. I'll fix it myself.
Let me show you what's wrong, Dan, since you're having horrible computer problems this week. Jesus.
It's so hideous.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it.
So I'm just going to pretend I can't see that. You can still hear me, okay?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great.
Okay, God bless you guys. So I get this great email from this viewer who's like, I watched the GDO. I know you love golden retrievers. She's like, I have this dog that was born without its right front paw.
Aww.
And she's like, I would love to have it go to a family that either has somebody who has a limb difference. And a limb difference, just for people who don't know, is it's someone like people that we know all well, which would be like Carson Pickett, who plays for the Orlando Pride, or Shaquem Griffin, who played for UCF football, who play without one of their limbs, without an arm. And so I was like, you know what? I know this lady. I think she'd be great. And so I messaged my friend Amy, who has a limb difference. She is missing her right front hand. And I said, Amy, would you want to, look at this puppy? This lady really wants to go to a family with someone who has a limb difference.
Yeah.
And so Amy's like, oh, I'm sure I can find somebody. She's like, busy mom. She's got 3 kids of her own. So she goes to meet this puppy and she's like, oh my gosh, love at first sight. This is the cutest dog I've ever seen. She's like, my husband works at a children's hospital. He said he will train the dog as a therapy dog, and we will bring this little, they call him little tripod dog. His name is Charlie.
Charlie Tripod.
We'll bring him to hospitals, and he will meet kids who have limb differences, and he'll be a great therapy dog. And so we brought them all together on Good Day Orlando, and we told the story, and people were like, not a dry eye in the house. Everybody's like, this is amazing. What a great story.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. That's just so cool.
And you guys,
when
you were able to connect the dots
for a long time.
Yeah.
That you build up those special connections with people.
Yeah, and you're a part of their day. You're a part of and they trust you, and the fact that you're able to connect those dots for, that's a beautiful story. That's fantastic. I love it.
So
it's very cool. You guys got to go on my Instagram. And
I'll definitely go and check it out.
This is why I love this guy. So Casey's going to come in. He's going to try to figure out what's wrong.
I'm going to do something.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's fine. At least we got the picture of you, the horrible, frozen photo.
It froze on me, and it was like the most hideous face ever. Listen, it was so bad.
No, it's not.
Tom, you got a parting question for Amy? I don't want to waste more of her time.
No. I'm curious to how like if you deal with technical difficulties or like just like we're doing now.
She's doing it right now.
I've
never felt more at ease.
So what's the protocol of like, okay, something technical difficulties, everything shuts down and you're still live on the air. You can't go to break and now you've got to improv.
Oh, there she is.
So when it comes to that, like especially when you've trained so many decades with doing your job, presenting it properly, making sure the facts are right, and then all of a sudden things go wrong.
And we just had that problem, and then they fixed it in the background. You would have never known.
And you got to improv. Like, have you had any? Like, what's the training for that?
Okay, so the training, as you guys know, is just experience because there's there is nothing better than just experience for stuff like that. But I have to tell you, so we're going through a total building renovation right now.
Yeah.
And so the construction has been crazy. So twice now, once an electrician cut through our internet lines. So we lost all our computers and all of our live shots because everything is internet based, right? It's totally different. But we don't have live trucks anymore.
No.
All the old antiquated equipment is gone. Everything is just like cell phone signals. So for an hour and a half, we lost all of our live shots. So we were like, well, I guess we're just talking a lot. And so we just were like, it was like radio, basically. We just talked. We were like, okay, we don't have any live shots to go to. We don't have computers. So we had our phones. Thankfully, we still had our internet on our phones. And so we just did that. And then the other day, same thing, another construction mishap. Somebody cut through an electrical wire and we went black and we were off the air for 10 minutes, which you guys know is in eternity.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing worse. Like when I turn on the radio and I'm trying to listen to you guys and there's dead air, I'm like, oh, this is bad.
It's bad. Now, it's less bad for us
worse.
because we're not there or running the show. So I'll just get an email from somebody saying, hey, your show's messed up, and I'll be like, I don't care. No, I don't do that.
Like, download.
But yes, that is, as a person that has anxiety, as the producer of this show, we've had it a bunch of times this week where this computer that we're using it'll just die. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because we are so dependent on these things now. Like, we would have never had cameras. We were podcasters or radio guys, but here we are with cameras. Everything has changed. I mean, when you got into this, you were supposed to be bringing us the news, not necessarily supposed to be on X or Instagram, sharing your 5K or the different charity, right? I mean, these are all parts of our business that just became completely different.
So Amy, I'm sure a lot of people ask you this one question, but like, how long does it take you to get prepared to be on TV every day? Like, because I know this from
that's a good question.
Daniel's wife worked in the news, and she would say, like,
her name is Andrea, sir.
I love her.
And
she says hello.
Andrea would talk about that, like, they get a lot of complaints about like what the anchors were wearing.
Oh, I can talk about it.
Or like if they're
God, she doesn't work there anymore. Martha Sagowski, when she worked at WESH, Andrea was on the news desk, so she'd be the one getting the emails to be like, tell her to take off that feather boa. She's doing the news, or like who do you think you are? And it's so I always thought it was terrible for female anchors. People were critical, man.
Yeah. Or just like your hair's got to be perfect, your makeup's got to be perfect. Like all that takes an insane amount of time.
Blend your neck makeup. Don't let your neck look bright white and your face look tan.
I don't do neck makeup yet, but I probably should.
I do it. I have to do it.
But do you become any crazy professional? A lot of people too think you guys have like a team every morning that you sit down and they do.
You're pampered. You're sipping a latte.
Yeah. And someone's like a movie set or something. So explain that process.
Yeah, the process is I do everything myself. I always tell people, if you don't like my outfit, if you don't like my hair, if you don't like my makeup, it's me. I'm the only person to blame. We don't have anybody to help us. We just don't. We do it all ourselves. And so like we pick out our own clothes and we do our own makeup. We do have a makeup lady who comes in like once a year and she's like, those colors don't look good on you. Maybe try this. But like that's once a year. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I don't know. It takes me like an hour to get ready in the morning. There's like two schools of thought on prepping for a newscast. There are people who come to work and they're just like, they haven't done anything. They're fresh faced, maybe hair pulled back in a ponytail, and they just walk in and they're like, I'm going to do everything at work. I actually like to do everything at home so that when I walk into work, if something happens, something crashes and burns and they need to throw me on TV, I'm ready. Because you can always tell, right? When you're watching the news and you're like, that person doesn't look like they're ready, or like they have like one eyelash on and they haven't put on this one yet. Like,
you can't tell.
And throughout the newscast, they start actually looking more attractive. You're like, what happened?
They've been touching up during the commercial breaks, I see.
Amy, do you ever miss being out on the field, like a reporter out there on the scene, or is that just a crazy, stressful other side of the business that is that you do not miss?
That is the most, I think, being out in the field is the most stressful job. The reporters and the photographers, their jobs are nuts. So we still get to go out and report, but I'll do we do live shows. Like David Martin and I'll go out and we'll do like live road shows. And so that's basically essentially like reporting, but you're live for an entire hour. So those shows are actually pretty stressful because when you're out live, there's a lot of uncontrollables, So I don't necessarily miss like the day-to-day reporting because it's tough. I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, there were days where you were out reporting like all day long. There would be, you're covering a shooting in a bad neighborhood. There's nowhere to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? And you're there the whole day. Like, what do you do? It's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to break down all of our gear and go down to the gas station and come back. And I mean, it's not easy. They really, I mean, those reporters, they get yelled at, spit at. I've had reporter friends get shot at.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's dangerous.
It
can be rough.
They're using a bathroom and some gas station in a bad neighborhood.
Nobody likes to do that.
It happens.
Yeah, I know.
It happens.
But no one sees that part, Amy.
No.
We all just see the TV and the person standing in front
Look at
of the
that
camera.
attractive person telling me something.
And they don't see them having to drive there in the middle of the night and using the bathroom at the ghetto gas station and all the behind the scenes. And then all of a sudden the cameraman's like giving them a signal like, hey, your audio's off, so we can just see your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then having to deal with that real time is, it's a super stressful job. Now, we'll end with this, Amy. Do anybody in the news, do they get paid per the market they're in? Like, I'm wondering, like, just in general, like, I'm not asking you what you get paid, but just like, does it depend on what marketing you're in and how big the market is? Does it depend on like your tenure at the station?
That's a good question.
How does that work?
So it depends on, there's so many factors that go into it. It depends on the company you work for, right? Some companies pay better than others. The health of your company, some media companies are doing great right now. Some are not. I'm very lucky to be at one that is a very healthy media company. But yes, it depends on market size. It depends on experience, right? So the more experience you have, the more likely that, you're going to get paid. So all of those factors into it. And early on, you asked me, Tom, about the, how times have changed. And so, I started a market 186. But nowadays you don't have to do that, right? There's such a need for reporters and anchors in those mid-sized markets, and you don't have to go down to the super small markets like we used to back in the olden days. So there's more opportunity out there, but I don't know. I just think that it really is different for everyone. This is not a business where I think most people don't get rich unless you work at the network. Or maybe you're working in a top 5 market and you've been there, like the folks who've been at Fox New York, for a long time. They're doing really well. Plus you also, and the other thing too, as you guys know, sometimes you have to earn the money in order to live in the market where you are. I interviewed for a job in Seattle years ago and they were like, well, if you want to, Seattle's super expensive. So if you're going to work here, you're going to have to live an hour and a half outside of town if you even want to be able to afford something based on what you're going to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. If rent's $8,000 a month, your salary has to afford that. And I forgot I was going to ask you one more question about
Amy wouldn't have forgotten. She's a pro. Amy already. She thinks 5 words in front. You need to be thinking 5 words in front.
Yeah, no, I know. It. I guess it goes back to like
clothing budget. That's my final question.
Oh yeah, because you can't wear the same thing every time.
Yeah. Do you how hard
rent?
is that? Yeah. Do you rent? I've always
some girls do.
Yeah.
Some of the girls I work with do like Rent the Runway, or there's like other websites that you can like pay $100 a month and they'll send you like 3 or 4 outfits or whatever. So some of the the girls here do that. I don't. I just try to find stuff on sale. And then I just try to be really conscious of not like wearing the same thing too often. I got to tell you guys, you'll appreciate this. Back in my Great Falls, Montana days, I had a calendar and I would write on there. I only had like 5 outfits. And so I would have to mix it up. So I had like 5 blazers. Back then you had to wear a blazer every day or a suit. And so I'd be like, okay, today I wore black blazer with white blouse. Tomorrow I'm going to wear green blazer with navy blouse. And then I would like try to mix it up. And then I'd be like, okay. And I would write it down because otherwise I was like, I'm wearing the same thing every day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I had no money, you know?
I remember my question. Are there social media influencers in the news industry that maybe jump the traditional work your way up because they have such a huge following? All of a sudden, they get opportunities now that maybe jump the person that worked longer, but because they got a huge following, like media is media, and they're like, hey, I'm going to give this person, they have a huge following already, they're going to get the job. Is that happening?
I mean, I do think that there is a lot of that. I think there's a lot of people who are going into this business now, not because they love journalism, but because they want to be on TV. Yeah. Or they think of it as being a route to bump up their influence on social media.
I agree.
That's not me. Like I guess I'm old school. And I'm old, so maybe it's just I just don't look at it that way. But I do think that yes, absolutely, that is a trend that we're seeing, is that people are going into the business not because they care about the news that they're delivering you, but more so because they care about how can I grow my influence on TikTok or Instagram?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? And then maybe that becomes my job as opposed to working here. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
A lot.
Amy, thanks so much for taking the time with us today.
We love you too. Thank you for the time and explaining what you do. And thanks to Casey for helping us out and making us look good. And hey, just thank you for doing this. We really appreciate you being on Weird Job Wednesday.
You guys are amazing. I have been listening to Love Thy Neighbor, by the way, and I love it.
Thank you.
I've been really trying to do the 6-second kiss, and I haven't.
It's hard.
I can't.
6-second kiss is awkward. It's an awkward kiss.
I don't believe that works, Amy.
Are you going to tell Colette that?
Well, no, I can't.
Tell Colette.
No, I can't tell Colette. But
I'll try again today. I'll let you know.
All right, let us know. Take care of yourself.
See ya.
Thanks, you guys.
See ya. Bye. That is Amy Caulfield.
Man, she's awesome. Like, what a pro. My God.
Good.
Like,
I got hair from my mustache trapped between my teeth.
Go read her resume. Like an unbelievable professional, and just 7 hours.
7 hours.
Crazy.
Isn't that what?
That's insane.
Hold on. Isn't that what's his name says? He goes, 7 hours of uninterrupted football starts now. That's 7 hours is red zone.
That is.
Isn't it?
I mean,
that's too long.
That's the difference. Like, our show is a 5K. That's an ultra marathon. Like, that's crazy.
There's not 7 hours of local news. There's not 7 hours of things that happen in.
How do you have the mental capacity to be on for that long? It's crazy. Amy Caulfield, everybody.
There you go.
We will see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Come join us. Come jump into the chat room. Hang out with us. Just search for @TomandDan Live. And you can chat with people, ask questions, even during the breaks. It gets. I was going to say it gets wild in here, but it does not. I was going to lie to you.
Well, it's wild in the chat room. I was going
to lie to you guys. I was going to say it gets wild in here. It does not get wild. It hasn't gotten wild in here in a long time.
We were just stuffing bags today.
That's pretty mild.
For our Bad Business Beer Fest,
Good
which is November
transition.
22nd. The first 600 people at noon will start getting those gift bags, but you can come from noon to 2. We'll have sample cups and wristbands available to everybody. Beer pouring starts at 2. That's when we got Silver Linings Band playing. We also have a bunch of great sponsors of ours out there, including the Science Center, who is here today on the couch. Jeff and Zach are here from the Orlando Science Center.
Good to see you.
How you guys doing?
Thank you. Yeah.
And you guys are here to promote the Astro Fest that's happening this weekend, November 15th and 16th. And Astrofest, of course, is all about the universe, correct?
Yes, all about outer space.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going to go on this weekend at Astrofest?
Yeah, we have a ton of awesome programming happening throughout the building, all floors of fun, all themed on our astronomy. So we have, terrace viewing where we're going to look at the sun through our telescopes with some special lenses. That's in partnership with our CFAS, our Central Florida Astronomical Society.
Nice.
I can look at the sun without a telescope.
You shouldn't look at the sun without a telescope.
You might not look at anything else.
I do it every day. It's just a little bit.
Bad thing to do.
He walks out.
I look right at it.
And if you want to safely look at the sun, you got to come to the science.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. We have our cosmic lab. We have glow in the dark, like black light, ultraviolet light. We have our space flight simulations that are going to be happening in our flight lab, where we're going to be able to fly through our procedurally generated universe and kind of look at the really awesome objects that are out there in deep space.
Cool.
Yeah, a bunch of awesome stuff that's happening.
Can you dial in the level of difficulty on something like that, or do you keep it pretty novice for?
No,
folks?
you can go as deep as you're willing to go.
I love
right.
that.
So it's like if there's a lot of kids who will come and they'll just like look at their favorite planets or like maybe a moon if they know. Like,
but if you want to go a little more advanced,
if you want to go look
yeah.
at Sagittarius A, the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and look at the supermassive black hole that we all orbit around, you totally can.
I
or
like that.
something far out of our own galaxy in distant trillions, quadrillions light years away.
Weren't you just talking about that? Didn't they find something?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch of space news.
Did
to
you
talk
load
to
it up?
Zach about.
Did you load it up?
Yeah.
He's been saving it.
I know. I feel like he's waiting.
Well, we talked about we found life on Earth, and I didn't get one email about it.
Not one.
Wait, this is the biggest
It
discovery.
confuses people.
What's
It's
confusing?
scary. I think
leopard
it's
print.
it's
The leopard
scary to
print is
people.
scary.
Yeah, the unknown.
It's the greatest discovery of human kind.
Yeah, but when people hear it, they've been ignorant to it for so long. They hear that, and it's terrifying.
I think another part of it is we hear it over and over again. It's like we made the next step towards finding life on Mars. We found the next step towards life on Mars. Well, now we just kind of found the evidence that there was life on Mars, and so
we really want a being, right? Don't we want we want something like chasing us around,
for sure.
Okay. Well, let's talk about things really far away, because I read an article this morning about the James Webb Telescope thinks they found the first generation of stars 13 billion light years away.
Those are tough stars. The first generation stars are tough.
Well, here's what's hard to understand.
The new stars we have now, weak stars. Very weak stars.
It's hard for my brain.
But that first generation stars are constantly complaining about how good it used to be.
That's true. They want to make the stars great again. And
no one respects
they can't do
anymore.
it. Yeah, and they don't want to move on, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to accept, they don't want to accept black holes. They don't want to accept, I can't think of another one, but I could have fleshed this out better, Jeff, if we'd had more time. Jeff, if we'd had
we
time.
need to talk before we go
If I
on.
had a blazer, we had an act.
Yeah, very
I
good.
could tell it's very
Point.
general. I immediately thought like first generation Pokemon of stars, and I was like the Charizard of stars.
Oh,
was
the classics.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
Squirtle is the man.
Our son's a Gen Z star. It's lazy.
It can't even get off the cosmos.
Yeah.
And staring at the screen all day. Anyway, so the first generation of stars, and what's hard for me to even comprehend.
Jeff got joke points in the chat room. I gotta give you that.
Thank you,
I gotta give you
everybody.
that. You gotta get your flowers, son.
All right.
Yeah,
I
like
appreciate
Jeff.
that. I
When
have
Jeff first
arrived.
started here, there's no monkey business. You get Jeff in here now. He's got a comedy blazer on. He comes in loaded.
I have come to play, people.
Well, it just shows that the Science Center's fun, man. This is why we love having you guys in.
So this is what's hard for me to comprehend, is that what they're seeing, the first generation of stars, are not even there anymore. Like technically,
Yeah, let's talk
physically,
about that.
yeah, like we're seeing light from 13 billion years ago, and it's getting to us now, and that's what we're seeing. But those stars have been gone for billions of years. Right?
So this is like it's a bad.
It's looking into the
analogy.
past.
Well, it's also like a fossil, right? Sort of.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
It's not. No, it's not, because you can't tangibly.
I would say, like, if we were 65 million light years away from the Earth and we looked at the Earth through that telescope, we would be seeing the dinosaurs walking around.
Okay. Yes.
So if we had a telescope 65 million light years away, we looked at the Earth, we would see the asteroid hit the Earth and cause that dinosaur extinction. So light still is involved with time. So as light travels, time still passes relative to us and that light.
Yep.
And so when we're looking at something that's 13 billion light years away, we're not looking at it as it exists today. We're looking at it as it existed when that light was first emitted 13 billion years ago. And so that's exactly why those stars are not there anymore.
That's mind-blowing.
That's some of the theories about why we haven't seen other life or have any evidence of life, or it's just like everything is so spread out that maybe, billions of years ago, someone sent out some radio signal or some message, and it just hasn't, take another billion years to get to us.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then everybody, maybe all life.
That's comforting to me for some weird reason. This, out of all the things we've talked about in here, this to me, I'm like, I can understand this.
That's actually designed to be comforting, that argument. It's called the Great Barrier Argument. It's an answer to the Fermi paradox, which is why haven't we discovered life if intelligent life should be everywhere in the universe? The Great Barrier is one of the answers of, well, it takes so long for information to travel because the universe is so incredibly large. So it's designed to be comforting. So that's a very correct answer.
That means I'm so simple.
Yeah. No.
It is comforting.
I saw a meme the other day that says that said like saying or denying that there's no aliens in the universe is like taking a spoonful of the ocean and saying there's no whales in the spoon, so therefore there's no whales in the ocean, because we're just seeing such a small part of the universe
size,
that it's like we're like, oh yeah, there's nothing there, but it's like it's so mind-boggling big. Human brains can't even understand.
It's bigger than even the idea of mind-boggling to me.
It's just,
sure.
And so,
it might as well be infinite.
But seeing the first generation of stars is pretty interesting, and the fact that someone was even able to come to that conclusion that it was the first generation is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And even going back to like that Fermi paradox, when you're thinking about, well, that star isn't there anymore, but something is there. Something probably is in that area or somewhat astronomically close to it, and so there could be life 13 billion light years away where we are looking at where that first protostar is or was at that time. So it's really interesting to kind of see how all of these stories and all of these ideas kind of morph together into one thing that we call astronomy.
Yep. You guys are in that area a lot, and you're reading constantly and trying to update, especially when you have things coming and going at the Science Center. Do you find that the science community is as snarky as the normal internet, or are they more excited and, let's say, uplifting and maybe like, hey, we've got the information before we just start executing it real quick,
I think scientists, above anything else, embrace change. Yeah. So when new information is added to it, it is almost always folded into what is accepted reality.
Right.
So as we get new information, it's not something that is refuted. It's something that's almost always embraced and even celebrated. Like finding a new discovery is always, oh my God, that's so cool. Now I have a little bit more information.
Yeah,
like
and
that
I feel
thirst for knowledge.
But I also feel like it's scientists' positivity or their natural. They're questing for more knowledge, so when they get it, it's well received. So when they do, like even if it's not ideal, it like every little gain we get, because they're receptive to it, to me seems small.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's incremental because I think this is it's a grind, right? Like to get to the end of the the problem, or to totally figure it out.
Well, let's talk about something I saw recently happen, and it's the Northern Lights have been visible way further south than normal. And my buddy Alex in North Carolina took a picture in his backyard and saw the Northern Lights, which is crazy because it used to be like, oh, you have to go to Iceland or Sweden, northern part of Sweden to see Northern Lights, and my buddy's seeing them in North Carolina.
Well, as we destroy the Earth, no, I'm kidding. I don't know what it has to do with.
Zach, can you explain why we're seeing them?
So the Northern Lights are basically just a physical reaction that's happening in our upper atmosphere when the sun's particles, the charged particles, are interacting with the gases in our upper atmosphere. It strays into that color formation that you see.
Yep.
And so basically the only thing that's happening is it's a more intense storm and we are angled the right way. It's wintertime, so we are angled a little bit further away from the sun, which means we're able to get that striation to come further south because of that. And so because that is happening, we're able to see it at lower and lower latitudes.
Now, is this something that's happened a lot of times before? Because I've never heard about it in the past, like, let's say 20 years ago, or is it just because we didn't have social media and it wasn't the information wasn't spreading?
I think that's definitely part of it.
Okay.
The way that information is able to travel around the world, it is much more prevalent. I also say like things that are in the upper atmosphere have been returning back to normal. Like you've heard, like the ozone layer is returning. Those are the parts that also are interacting and causing those northern lights. So as the atmosphere is being slightly repaired, we're going to be able to see it a little bit more.
Now, the ozone layer has been repaired because I've been throwing away my scooter batteries in the trash.
And a grateful world thanks you.
So
yeah,
hold on.
It's all because of me and because I've been burying motor oil right outside my townhome.
So we can spray Freon crazy now.
Well, that's the first thing I thought of.
I can fill every AC.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of, and I didn't want to start with this joke, but I am an aerosol deodorant man. And I didn't want to share that with either of you because, number one, you're a client, a beloved client, and I don't like showing my trashiness that, profoundly, but I love aerosol deodorant. I'm addicted to it. It's the best deodorant.
You love that cloud.
DeLand Middle School, the Teal Degree. That's what all the boys were running, Teal Degree aerosol deodorant. It's the best.
Yeah,
So,
there is something about that whiff of
the blast.
ozone and deodorant that takes you right back to middle school.
It's just a blast of ozone.
Yeah.
Champions were made with that blast.
Yeah.
Think about how many. Emmitt Smith is a Teal Degree blast man. He's my generation.
Sure.
Emmitt Smith, one of the greatest gators of all time.
I'll blast one at the ceiling like LeBron James. Just to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so
why is the ozone repairing itself? What is that?
Just because we've slowly reduced the amount of like CFLs and aerosols that we use as a society.
So that's good.
Just government regulation, and so it's nature slowly will heal itself.
Should that be a lesson to everyone that we can make a difference?
Yeah. I mean, a drop in the bucket piles up over time, right?
Yeah, man.
So
it's the first good news I've ever heard.
No, truly.
Like this show. Thank you.
Like when the ozone, I thought it was fake news.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like the ozone is repairing stuff.
Repairing. It's not full. I mean,
I know,
but it's like a drunk's liver.
But it reversed, and I was like, no way, human beings did the right thing.
We did it.
I was like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we all be celebrating like Bruce Willis just hit an asteroid?
So Zach, tell me about the theory that just came out that people now believe the universe is slowing and cooling instead of because for a while the theory that it was kind of speeding up and we didn't even know why, but dark matter we still don't know what it is, but now some new evidence came out that they theorize that it's slowing down.
Yeah, so there's a law in thermodynamics which basically means that every system of energy will reach entropy, which basically means heat death. It will stop having energy. It will evenly disperse and it'll not be interactive anymore. Our universe is nowhere near that, right? We are very unaligned. We are very basically unorganized. We are a very chaotic system in and of itself. If we were at heat death, we would be perfectly individually spaced particles, no life, no planets, no stars, no heat, no energy, nothing. Like we would just be atoms floating evenly distributed around the universe.
In an infinite amount of space.
In an infinite amount of space, exactly correct. So the expanding of the universe is evidence that heat death is essentially inevitable, but also improbable. Because as the area is expanding, we are able to expand the particles with it. It's a really high-end level science stuff. Basically,
I can understand.
Yeah.
You came to the right place, Zach.
Basically,
where are your guys?
Exactly
Where are your guys? I'm on board. You know what? You don't need to slow down. If anything, speed up because you're boring me.
Yeah, just the particles have to expand to accelerate with the expansion as well. The reason it's probably slowing down is just our instruments are better able to measure the actual speed, and so the theorizations earlier were probably just a little off back and forth. But there is an essential ending to the universe that would be called that heat death.
Can you hear the spaceship coming? I ordered you guys a spaceship.
Pretty cool.
I thought it would really send off the day.
I also read another article that I never even thought about, but it does make perfect sense. But this is the first time I've ever heard about it. So, and it's about micro asteroids on the moon. So
I saw a meme about this too. This must be going around.
So apparently, Artemis era lunar base is a plan. This is the first kind of heard of it, but basically a lunar base, a base on the moon, and they were saying that a scientist realized that there are micro asteroids hitting the moon at all times, right? They estimate 23,000 micro asteroid impacts per year. So it's a lot, right? And by micro asteroids, I mean some of these things are smaller than we could see, smaller than a grain of sand, right?
Okay.
But they're traveling at 70,000 kilometers a second. Ooh. So they're traveling at way faster than the speed of a bullet, right? Like insanely fast into the moon. The moon has no atmosphere, so they're impacting the moon. So, and most of them you can't even see, but they can definitely tear through a astronaut's
suit. Yeah,
suit,
that's the meme I saw.
Go into a base. Like they said, even a micro asteroid weighing 1 microgram, right, which is I guess
familiar,
like insanely small, could dent metal. Like because of
the pure speed and the lack of an atmosphere on the moon.
How fast they are going, they can create enough energy, even at that small of a density, that they can create problems. So they're trying to figure out like how these are. I mean, if you put a base on the moon and you have all these micro asteroids impacting everywhere, I guess it's less at the poles. So so
you put them at the.
Yeah, but still, less doesn't mean zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you protect yourself when you go outside unless you're wearing like a Master Chief Halo suit or something, right? And which I'm not opposed to. That would be pretty dope.
Were the original astronauts in the 50s worried about this? Did they know?
I would imagine they probably weren't worried about it because our instruments weren't strong enough to notice. I'll also argue that every single astronaut that's ever walked on the moon did not have their spacesuit ripped through, and they all came back home, right?
Yeah,
so,
they're also real men that if they'd ripped their spacesuit, I don't think they would have told you.
Buzz Aldrin.
They were probably aerosol.
Yeah, they were definitely aerosol.
They're degree, teal degree guys.
Teal degree guys.
Just like
they're degree men.
Yeah, I don't think if you ripped Buzz Aldrin's suit, I think he just puts his hand on it, then makes his way back to the crack.
Yeah, I'll also throw force equals mass times acceleration. So if your mass is so incredibly low, you have to be going like really incredibly fast. And I get that like 70,000 miles or kilometers per hour is crazy fast, but that's nothing compared to like the speed of light, which would decimate the moon if a microgram asteroid hit it at that speed.
Okay.
But I don't know how intense of the forces would be for that, but everything that we've put on the moon is still there as far as
you're right. It hasn't been destroyed.
So it hasn't been destroyed in like 50 years of lunar travel since it's kind of lived up there. Like the mirrors are still reflecting lasers back to the Earth. That's how we're able to tell that the stuff that we put up there is still there.
So you would tell Tom what he would tell us if we were afraid to go to the moon. You would say, it's fine.
I'd say, yeah, we're probably good. We also have pretty strong materials. The whole branch of NASA is that tensile strength and materials. So I'm sure they're going to be prepared.
And then also, like, even if it is like 23,000 micro asteroids hitting the moon, even though it's small compared to the Earth, is still huge area and spread apart.
100%.
Like the likelihood of one hitting someone the human size on the moon still becomes statistically unlikely.
Yes. 100% probable that it would not happen.
But it is an interesting danger that you don't think about when you talk about the moon. Because the meme I saw was like a video, and it was like if you were in space and you were floating and repairing your spaceship, and then you had an amount of oxygen, but somehow you detached from the spaceship and you couldn't get away, then instantly they start trying to frame you, which is fear rules everything around me. And they start saying, then micro asteroids would rip through your suit, killing you, and I'm like, really? I was like, I've never heard of astronauts doing a spacewalk. I've watched those because they're fascinating. That weird depth from their camera where you look out and you're like, you see them and you see whatever they're working on, and then you see nothing is terrifying to me. It's worse than looking at like the ocean when you're on a cruise ship and you just look and you just see a horizon that goes on forever. The space one, because they have the feeds. When you watch it and it just goes on for nothing, it's terrifying to me, man. I'd be better if they put Slender Man back out there or something. I need something back there.
But it just things like fall into the Earth's atmosphere all the time. Just get burned up by our atmosphere, and no one thinks about how much it protects us. But like,
I'm pro atmosphere.
Little like rocks and stuff just constantly just falling into Earth at all times. But the moon, they're hitting the surface of the moon.
Are they deteriorating the size of the moon? Like, was the moon?
It would have to be an impact with enough force that it would basically launch projectiles out of the gravity influence of the moon. Typically, it's launching up and then still falling.
And
back
our
down
moon
and
has no moon.
No. Well,
like our moon doesn't have anything around its gravitational pull?
I mean, probably there might be some microasteroids that orbit around it, but nothing that is of note or value.
Did you see the asteroid impact on the moon that you could see from a telescope recently?
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was a really cool visual.
Like,
I did not see that. Now that'll change the size of the moon.
Like someone was, and it looked like they were like looking at it in daytime.
Yeah.
And it was the moon, and you see the mini asteroid.
What, it just happened, and they're like, "Oh, weird star! The moon just." They're just yelling because they just happened to be watching it.
They must have been tracking the asteroid. They knew it was going to hit the moon, and they knew the area, and then you watched the impact.
Yeah.
And it was pretty big. Like, you could see it with your naked eye, the asteroid, and then you see the impact and the crater it formed, which is like, whoa, I've never seen that before. That was cool.
Yeah, but again, even at that size, most, if not all of that material falls back to the moon. And also the asteroid is adding to the mass of the moon as well. So it's going to be pretty difficult to reduce the size of the moon like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And what kind of material was in the asteroid? Because I don't know what it would weigh.
We would have to go up there and figure it out.
It could weigh more. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Speaking of material, I also heard
he's going to try some of his new jokes now. Is that what you're going to do?
What?
You guys are going to love
tight five.
You guys are going to love this.
Sure.
Go get your top hat. He has a top hat he wears. He does like moon jokes.
And it was some scientist.
Don't you call yourself Science Field? Science Field.
Talking about like
what's up with this moon?
Like the rarest material in the universe is probably like besides from like biology and like or anything that's living was, and I guess this is living, was wood. And like you don't think everybody thinks of what's rare to us, diamonds and gold and stuff, but that is everywhere in the universe.
That's a natural occurring thing.
But wood is insanely rare in what we know of the universe. Like again, we only see a small percentage of, but wood is insanely rare in the universe, and no one ever thinks that.
No, that's a really cool. I've definitely never had that thought, but that is something that is really interesting to think about.
Yeah, I saw it in a meme though. I didn't think of it.
We get all our science from memes. We get our news from memes.
Thoughts from memes. Yeah, no, it
I get everything. I get my parenting advice from memes.
You know, it's hard. It's hard about memes is you end up reading the art, like just the headline of it, and then you're like, oh, but you're too lazy to go in and actually read the whole thing.
I don't have time.
So then you just you base your entire scientific knowledge of just the headline of some article from some who knows what.
Oh my God. All of my
Science.com.
All my food choices have to do with just a man looking over his shoulder at another woman. You know that meme. Yeah, all of my food choices are based on that meme.
So Zach, have you seen anything else recently in the universe news that you want to talk about?
I mean, there's so much awesome modern stuff that's happening all the time. My favorite thing to think about are like those little thought experiments that I think really trip us up still to this day.
Okay.
So we're talking about the Fermi paradox. Another one that I like to bring up to people is the Obler's paradox, which is basically if the universe is essentially infinite and has been around essentially forever, why is the night sky mostly dark? Why isn't there an infinite amount of stars that shine light and make the night sky white versus black? Before I tell you the reasoning behind it, do you have any answers? Why do you think the night sky is mostly dark space and not an infinite sea of starlight?
Do we pollute it from where we're at, where we would have to be fully dark down here and have an absence of light to see it in some weird way?
Well, there's pictures from the moon that should be,
no, you're right.
And Mars, I don't even know if these are fake. Going back to, like, you see a picture and you're like, is this fake or real? Like, there was a picture floating around of, like, a Mars rover taking a picture of the space from Mars, and it looked like every star was like 1 microcentimeter from each other. Like the whole, night sky was just essentially white with stars, and that made sense. I was like, I mean, there are that many stars. But then I was like, is this real or is this a fake picture? I don't know.
No, for sure. Light pollution definitely is involved in it, especially in our modern society. We have so many lights that, for sure, if you're down here in downtown Orlando, you're going to see less starlight than if you're out in like the rural areas of Central Florida.
Atmosphere,
atmosphere obstruction, even just clouds, right? celebrate stuff like that. But the reason the night sky isn't that is because the universe isn't truly infinite. There is an edge to it. But another thing is that as light travels, it red shifts, so it'll actually lose wavelength. The intensity of the light slowly loses energy over time, and so it'll stop being visible light. It is background radiation. It's red light. Whoa. It's micro. So that's what that cosmic background radiation, if you've ever heard of that phrase, that's basically the everlasting low glow of the formation of the entire universe, that Big Bang. And so that cosmic background radiation is real and exists, but it's not just visible to the naked eye. You need very intense instruments in order to see it.
So if you looked at the night sky and were able to detect the radiation, it would essentially be all
if our eyes could see the entire electromagnetic spectrum and not just the small sliver of visible light that we see, we would be blinded. It would just be energy and information everywhere versus the only small wavelength of light that we can see. And that wasn't a thing that was discovered when this paradox was first theorized and talked about.
Interesting.
I like that. We have a question from the chat room. This is a new segment we're going to do when you guys come in called Questions from a Bugman. Charles the Bugman asks, so I got a question for you guys. My wife thinks the moon landing was faked because of the amount of time it took to get there and back. Wasn't enough time. Also, that they lost the ability or the capability of getting to the moon, but they can get there some other way to Mars because of some solar belt or something like that. What's up with that?
Okay, so the moon landing being fake.
What do you think of that question? Charles, you outdid yourself this
Charles,
time.
love it. Okay,
great question, Charles.
We talked about this, I feel like, a little bit in the past as well. The reason I truly believe that the moon landing is real is because, one, any other government agency would want to disprove it because that would be really funny to get that up on the United States government and NASA.
True.
One. Two, we didn't lose the ability to go to the moon. We could go to the moon if we wanted to. We lost the funding.
Wait a minute, is that what people say? I could go to the moon if I wanted to.
Yeah, basically.
I just don't want to.
All of NASA is we could go to the moon if we wanted to, but you got to give us the billions of dollars in order to do it, right? And so it's more of we've lost the interest. We did it, 7 times, 6 because 13 failed, but after that, there was an interest to go back to the moon. We weren't getting any new information.
We know it's there.
We know it's there. We got the rocks. We brought them back, and we said, we can do a lot more science with these rocks over and over and over forever. There's no need to go back yet. The reason we're going back now is because we want to get to Mars, and so we're practicing with the moon yet again in our modern times with our modern technology, so that way we can graduate up to Mars. We're doing our tutorial level over again, so that way we can get to Mars, which is our next challenge.
So chat room is saying go to the moon if I wanted to is the same as I have a girlfriend, she just goes to another school.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a great joke.
What would you say to Charles's wife if she was here and she said, "Yeah, right"?
I just think there's a lot of intense physics involved that it would take to fake that film shot. Like, if, let's say, it is Stanley Kubrick, the greatest filmmaker at the time, could he have faked the moon landing? The answer is just truly no. The technology doesn't exist and didn't exist then. There is no CGI, so it had to be practical in the lens. In order to get the light that was there, in order to get the parallel light beams and everything that only exist from a really bright light trillions of miles or millions of miles away with the sun, right?
The minutia of government does help me understand it when people are like, well, why haven't we gone back? And I'm like, it's the government.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we even made it there.
The best argument, though, is that China, with unlimited resources and science, would love to show the world the fact and prove us that we didn't go to the moon.
If we think about the reason why we went to the moon, it was a space race against the USSR. So it's guess what? They would have wanted to disprove us instantaneously. And they had
They'd
a lot
probably
of
be doing it right now. We're not very well liked.
Exactly. Multiple international governments have sent things to the moon, have orbited around the moon, have landed on the moon. We've
Somebody mentioned a Chinese rocket that entered Florida space. Did you guys hear anything about that? Is that real or something that happened?
I have no idea about that.
I didn't hear about that.
So again, Astrofest, all about the universe.
Yeah, man.
It's this weekend, the 15th and 16th, at the Science Center, osc.org. become a member. If you have kids and you're not a member at the Science Center, you're missing out because there's infinite stuff to do at all times, and you bring your family there, and your kids will have a blast.
You're too busy to check the calendar. Don't even do that. You become a member, and then that way they tell you what's happening, and then that way you get to know what's happening first.
Yeah, we send you an email every week about what's going on that weekend. You get all kinds of discounts. You buy that membership, you get in, you and your family, as many times as you want within the next year. So it is really a great deal for
and
families.
They'll be entertained.
If you're members too, you can bring friends along and buy passes.
Yeah, you get extra passes. You get some passes that you can bring friends along. You get discounts.
Well, that's a question I get sometimes with families that are like, well, he's got some friends over and he want to bring some buddies. I mean, you can get passes, and there's ways to get. I mean, it's also extremely affordable, guys.
There's also different memberships that cater to your specific family. If you need a single person versus a family versus a flex, there's so many good options out there that there's a perfect membership for whatever grouping you're thinking of.
Well, Zach, Jeff, thanks so much for coming by.
You guys.
Really appreciate
you guys.
Again, osc.org, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Jeff and Casey Howell are here. We got the Howells in the building.
What up? Missed you guys.
Missed you too, man. You're a world traveler.
Yeah, man.
We have not seen you since we were picking your son's brain a little bit about it, but he wasn't following along for some reason. He knew nothing of your travel. Yeah, he knew nothing of your travels. And you've been when did you get back from Europe?
September 15th or 16th. I left. I did 5 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, you did a while. Yeah, because I was following it on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was funny.
I try to be funnier.
Yeah.
No, you were good. I actually very much enjoyed following along.
Oh,
it looked like, you were very, I will say you weren't very funny. You were
No, I was just kind of,
you were very serious, but
I'm not the first person.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the series. I didn't want funny, Jeff. I didn't want you doing dog tricks. I wanted you telling me what the trip meant to you.
Oh, okay.
And you were doing that.
No, he did one joke, and I'll explain because fair. I got multiple texts about this, and Tracy actually called me about it.
Oh, you're kidding?
I don't know if I know this.
Which Jeff made a post about some sort of building for sale,
a little shack,
like a hovel.
yeah. And then he's like, the Red Dog Pub too, or Europe.
Yeah.
And then, but people thought you were serious.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I'm like, don't you know? Do you even know this man? I was mad at them, Jeff, because and then everybody in the comments thought it was serious.
But I do have to tell you that years ago,
there are people in our chat room right now that believe that.
Years ago, when y'all just started the show here, y'all were probably about 2 or 3 years going there.
Yeah.
And the old militia had me play a Christmas party, and Ross was just starting his comedy thing.
Yeah.
Now I'd been texting Tom, coming in on the show and everything, and I sent a joke to Tom one time, and then I went, "Just kidding." And then he got mad at me, and he goes, "Don't do that." He goes, "Stand behind your damn joke. You tell a joke."
Why are you bullying our guests?
I love bullying.
Yeah, and so I took it personal. And so
I would too. I'm a sensitive boy.
I go and do the gig, and Ross is up there, and he's killing it. And he just started. He just started doing his comedy. So I texted both you guys, put both you guys in text, and I said, "Hey, I think Ross is a little nervous. He wants to know, do you remember his joke about vaginas?" I sent that to y'all. And so Daniel, he writes back and he goes, "Is this real?" Or is this well, I'm standing behind my joke, asswipe.
Well, listen, Jeff is, as long as I know Jeff, it's always...
I want to see a text thread with you and Jeff just talking.
It's confusing when it comes through text. Anyway, all right, so Jeff, what was your favorite part of your trip? Let's just get, because you were over in your... Where'd you go?
Did you see any whores?
Tell everybody.
I saw whores, yeah.
All right.
I'm a little cheap.
Where'd you
pound
go?
to the dollar.
Where'd you go?
Where'd I go? Okay, well, I'll just run it down real quick. I did 10 days in Ireland. That was my first thing.
Okay.
I played about 6 or 7 of those.
That's awesome.
How do you book that?
I book it. The guy that used to own Casey's on Central downtown, he owns the bar in Ireland that I play.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Mulvaneys. You remember the Mulvaneys from years and years ago?
I do.
Yeah. I used to play for. I played for them for 20 years. They've all moved back to Dublin, and they have a bar in Dublin.
Jesus.
Now I contacted him beforehand, but we were kind of ping pong, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. That's more of an Asian thing, ping pong.
Yeah, we stopped in on there. Me and Rick Bailey came to see me my second trip down, because I did 2 trips to Ireland this time, and he came to see me. So we went and crashed their bar and pulled.
Wow.
Well, basically, we were sitting there, and we just came from the train station. So we had our backpacks and our suitcases and guitars, and we sit down. I go talk to the owner's daughter, who grew up here in Orlando, but she lives over there and runs the bar now.
Wow.
So I was telling her all about playing. She goes, "No, I remember your name and stuff." I said, "Yeah," and she goes, "You were on the radio?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, one." I come back. Rick Bailey has already made friends with an Irish drunk.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah,
and he's Bailey.
They have those over there?
Yeah. A lot.
And so I come to sit down. He goes, "This is my buddy Dave." And Dave goes, "How are you doing there?" And I said, "Good." He looks at our guitars. He goes, "Are you going to effing play or what?"
Yeah.
So we pulled out the guitars and we started playing, and the whole place just gathered around. And she took video. She goes, "I'm booking you guys next time."
You doing funk and blues? You doing traditional?
Oh yeah,
American
no,
style?
all acoustic. I'm not even doing tracks anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
No training wheels anymore.
I like that. Yeah.
Beast is uncaged.
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. I'm getting hired for parties where they want the party. Jeff Howell, and I'll use the track.
You don't want to do just like a kick drum and a tambourine glued to your jeans or something?
My
the
timing.
kids love
Dimitri
that.
Martin.
Yeah. The kids love the one-man band.
Yeah, I never use loops, and you've seen loopers. I mean, guys that are incredible at looping. My timing is so bad that I can't. Yeah, I can't
really?
do loop. Yeah, because I can play along with it on rhythm, but when I kick it in and then it kicks back in, it does jazz rhythms. It's things. It's off. So I don't do that. So I just do acoustic now.
I like that. No, I think that's beautiful. That's really, really cool.
Thank you. But anyway, I went to
I like that we're getting less of a show now. I like that. Like,
You're
take things
taking
away.
I'm breaking it down.
You know that this guy won't let us. This is a Tom and Dan fact. This guy will never, he has a rule. He's like, once it's there, he's like, you can never take it away from the audience. He's like, because that's when they turn on you. Because we have so many things we're doing that we shouldn't be doing. We can't take
a lot of balls to juggle.
Can't take anything away.
So anyway, but anyway, real quick, I went to Ireland for 10 days. Then I went to Norway for 6 days. Wow. And they showed me all around. And I swear to God, it's like another planet over there. And then I went to England. And I went to England. And I played there, old friend that I met years ago. And then I went to Scotland, and I was going to meet up with Bubba's ex-wife, Sweetney. She lives there now in Edinburgh, but she got sick, and she didn't know if it was COVID or not.
Right.
That's what she told me.
They still care about that over there?
Yeah. It's a big thing.
We eliminated it here.
And human rights are big over there, too. They like human rights over there, so it's weird. And they take all the poisons out of the foods.
Right. And then I went back to Ireland and did 10 more days.
Okay.
Wow, man.
So in Ireland, what did you go sightseeing and stuff?
Yeah, I did. I did. But I didn't see the Cliffs of Moher, which suppoedly is the big one.
Yeah.
It's they're just these monumental cliffs.
I'd rather see the Cliffs of Less.
I thought because Russ had seen him and he was telling me about it.
Yeah.
And so the whole time he's talking, I'm thinking, okay, is it more like M-O-R? M-O-O-R-E, like a name?
Yeah.
Or is it M-O-O-R because, the Muslims did come up there.
The Moors, yeah.
Yeah, the Moors came up there, in the 800s.
Jesus was a Moor.
Yeah.
He was. It makes a lot of people mad. He was a very dark man, Jesus was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 Believe it or
Not my Jesus.
Not my Santa.
That's a different one.
But anyway,
he had yellow tendencies.
Yeah,
I feel
but I did a couple of tours, that they and actually the Wexford where I was from has a very strong Viking influence there.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Vikings used to come over there.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So you're like, do you see? Because I know that you've talked about like pulling back on shows around here, but it seems like there you're playing a lot. Is this something you enjoy doing? Would you see yourself going, maybe moving to Europe?
I thought about it the first time when Casey and I went the first time. We were both blown away.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
And
I
the
thought,
whores, right?
The whores and the Moors.
Or a Moor whore.
And we were eating s'mores. So.
Hey, hello, Moor whore. Would you like another s'more? Close the door.
It's like I'm watching an old TV show right now.
I know. So welcome to Nickelodeon. But anyway, I was thinking about getting a place there. So I've told people the whole year that I was probably going to buy a little small condo or something, and it's doable, money wise. Yeah. But it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of thinking, and I don't like to do either of those anymore. Right. So this time when I went there, I saw this old dilapidated shack that had a sold sign on it. So I took a picture of it and I said, I finally pulled the trigger. You wish me luck.
Yeah,
that was it. So I didn't say I bought it. I just said I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And then people, oh my God, you're kidding! Oh, God. And it's got a big hole in the roof. You know, in the picture. It looked nasty.
Now Tracy,
it looked like something you'd buy.
Now Tracy, who works with us, says, "No, I don't know if this is what you were claiming. She claims that you bought it hook, line, and sinker. And she knew it was a joke. She claims that she had to talk you because you were like, just like what he's doing. He's buying a place. She said that you fell for it.
Yeah.
And you're the dodo.
No. When you're on a list, you say you're not. I know how it works.
Never.
Check the flight record. I'm not on there.
Anyway, what about Scotland?
Loved it. Oh my God! It just and the thing about it is, just the terrain is so beautiful. Not to mention that half of the city was built. Half the city of Edinburgh was built in the 1100s or 1200s. They still have the castles. They still have
it's crazy old. Yeah.
But it blends in, and they blend their architecture in with nature. I mean, the hills just come up to it. The trees. It looks like it was part of nature.
Yeah,
and it's so effing beautiful. And when I left, it was 98 degrees here and 90% humidity.
Yeah.
When I got there, it was 65. And it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. Because, Orlando.
No, I feel yeah.
Well, now it's nice.
It's nice. It was like this.
Yeah.
It was like this.
It was perfect. Yeah. So, what about the people
in Scotland?
Yeah.
Oh God, they're great. In fact, the thing is, I could probably understand people from Mexico better than I can understand people from Scotland.
Yes.
If you've seen Train
it's
Spotting,
a dialect that we're not familiar with, so it's way different. Yeah,
it's also really fast and they cut their.
No idea.
Oh yeah.
They cut words. Like it might be a 3-syllable word that they've dumbed down to one quick syllable. They just shoot it in there.
Yeah. Are you coming to my house? No, house. You coming to my house? That's house.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah.
And you're like, are you speaking English?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what the reason is for them, why that happens.
It's a dialect. It's through generations, it just formed into this, they all understand each other, and then we're totally lost. It's weird. Have you ever seen, online where you can, they have this, I guess, recording of what someone else that doesn't, know English, what it sounds like when they hear us talk.
I never believe that.
And it's just because it's just a bunch of nonsense words, but it's with our dialect.
Oh, okay.
And then so you get to hear what someone that doesn't speak English hears when we talk. And it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but it's of course. And then you're like, whoa, it's weird seeing the other side of a language like that.
You can imagine, like I just said, Mexico or any Latin American country, when they bring an American in and he's the dumb one, and he's speaking Spanish but with an American accent.
Yes,
like we do when we do our racist accent.
Memes.
Who's we?
Is this all memes you get this from? Because all of this is memes.
Yeah,
that's how I get all my information now.
You got to stop that, man.
Stop it.
Yeah, here
I'm accelerating.
This is here's what English sounds like to non-English.
Have you ever wondered what English sounds like to people who don't speak English? I found this short film in fake English on YouTube, which now has over 50 million views and 500.
This is really where you got this from. This is embarrassing.
I guess this movie was created to show native English speakers what it's like to hear English as a foreigner who doesn't speak the language. And I'm a non-native speaker, by the way. Okay, let's watch a short clip from the movie
together.
We go.
We're gonna.
So I went to York around the watch today.
Oh?
Yeah. That doll's a rainbow on her face. Can't believe that Maury Elton John.
I love this comment under the video.
Okay, this is just stupid.
That's not what I heard.
Mine was way better. You should have been there.
There was a song in the 70s is called like pre-colonoscopies or something, and this guy from Italy, and he tries to write a hit song in American. And it sounds just like an American thing, but you're just singing slang the whole time.
Wait, is that fat Italian guy that performed on like a show?
I don't know how fat
doing
he is.
What's the song?
It's like pre-colonoscopies.
Pre-colonoscopies.
Yeah. I had a couple of those last week.
It's called pre-colonoscopy?
It's Italian, I know that.
While you're looking that up, when I was in Norway visiting my friend Marge, she was a wonderful girl, and we were visiting.
No, that's what you're supposed to do if we're doing Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, and so I was in there, one afternoon. She goes, "I think I'm going to take a shower." She goes, "Do you have to go to the toilet before I do?" And I went, "Yeah, let me get in there real quick." She goes, "No, wait. Are you going to pee or are you going to make a dumper?" And after 5 minutes, when I finally stopped laughing, I went, I actually could do both at the same time. But
you have to. I think when you make a dumper, a pee-pee comes out.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So from now on, you can ask, every time I have to go now, I go, I'm going to make a dumper.
I think I found it. Is this it? I think.
But in American.
I do this with my daughter, and I do this with my wife, and she hates it because we can make up made-up words.
Right.
And she's like, stop it, knock that crap. She's like, Tom.
Yeah.
She don't like any
No fun in the house.
And we have ones we do. We'll be like, Tashi Katan, Tashi Gagi Babi Boo, Tashi Flaggy Gordon Doo. We sing all.
That's like an anime intro.
Yeah, we do that. And then Andrew will be like, knock that crap off. And listen to this guy. This guy's professional.
I liked it.
Really
Yeah.
Okay. So, Casey, where are you going to be at? Let's get some plugs in.
Yeah, we got to get the
middle
literature out here.
Oh yeah, Friday,
right
Friday too.
Oh, Friday. Yeah. Friday will be at Big Belly BBQ in Davenport.
Oh.
Come out to Tom Fellows Community Center. We'll be there 4 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a charity event raising money for schools in Davenport, 5 to 9. Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Saturday will be at Johnny's Other Side, Casey Howell Trio featuring Jeff Howell, 7:30 to 10:30.
Whoa, we flipped the switch it out. That was the Casey Howell Trio featuring the dad.
I gave you the wrong.
In my house.
I gave you the wrong page.
Never mind, we are not doing that. I thought I wasn't working Saturday because I had made plans.
A lot of time to think of these bits on the airplane.
That was the last time I was on the show. Yeah.
All right,
start over.
Friday. We will be.
It's only a 12-minute show.
We call that a comedy dumper.
I'm going to make it
13 seconds.
You made a dumper.
I didn't. This isn't my paper. All right, Saturday we will be doing nothing.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. Making a dumper.
Sunday, me and Tom the Bomb will be at Tibby's for New Orleans brunch in Winter Park, 11 to 2. Come on out.
All right.
And this old sack of crap. He'll be at the Lucky Lord downtown after SMCD, 1:30 to 4:30.
Joseph Martin's doing his show.
There you go.
They've already coming down.
Yes.
And so I'm following him. So he finishes, I think, at 1, and then I start at 1:30, and I'm doing all acoustic now.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's killer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really fun.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And we're going to come back with the Howls tomorrow.
Yeah,
my God.
yeah.
And I want
Double howl.
And I want to find out how Jeff saved money on this European trip. Because, for sure, he's flying the cargo or something else.
So you want to be lied to.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I want to find out. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. Come hang out with us. Join the chat room. Talk to everybody. Make some friends. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live.
Killer Bees is with us. How you doing, Killer Bees?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Good to see y'all
Very
again.
good to see you, too. You are our favorite moonshining guitar comedy man.
So Killer Bees is going to... He's going to be in Brooksville, Florida at the Mazurek Winery this Saturday, November 15th at 7 p.m. You can get your tickets at killerbees.com. That's BEAZ.com.
Thank you.
And I was just telling Killer that I'm going to be in Brooksville the weekend of Thanksgiving because they go out to Croom Forest and camp for Thanksgiving weekend. But
you leave the boys at the campsite and swing your wife by the winery, and get her a nice glass of that elixir she craves.
So get your tickets. Go see Bees. He's a comedy legend. And if you're anywhere near Brooksville, get your tickets.
You've been doing comedy so long that I guarantee no bad shows.
I am in my 44th year.
Congrats.
Of doing stand up.
Yeah,
I
man.
really am, and I'm toying with the idea. You know how you sit and you think about your life and stuff. I think I'm going to try to keep doing stand up to the 50-year mark. I think that would be a neat legacy, if you will, to have actually performed stand-up for 50 years.
It seems smart to me to have goals, right? And so if you're on 44, you might as well do 50. And then, it's like having a... I don't know. I think we've been doing this a very long time, and sometimes I think I look way too far into the future, and I'm like, I need to have something out there to keep going for, that gives me, because we know you love it. I mean, or you wouldn't have done it 44 years,
right? And y'all are in the same boat. It's a low impact job.
Yeah,
we're not carrying roofing shingles, climbing up ladders and stuff. We're not toting bricks and stuff like that. So it's actually something you can do as long as you're still cognizant enough.
I wouldn't be able to carry many bricks anyway. You know what I mean? I'm like a one-brick guy.
There's also something to be said about being in the positive entertainment industry, and I say that because we live in a world now where there's a lot
of dark out there.
There's a lot of dark, and then it's like I feel bad for the people that live in the dark entertainment industry because I'm like, God, it's so negative all the time. Like,
careful what you say there. That sounds very racist. That sounds pseudo-racist.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, because at least we could all, at the end of the day, just be like, hey, I'm just trying to make someone laugh. And,
well, Bees is a positive, uplifting, guy. Family guy.
I'm trying to, at the very basic, just make someone laugh. And then if you're like, and that's the only goal we all have, I think.
Well, and that's a great gift for people is levity, to be able to put a smile on somebody's face, to have a laugh come out of him. It's really a pretty good service to do. It's not, not like, firemen, policemen, the people who really keep us safe, and doctors, all that stuff, but still,
I put myself a little above firefighters. Yeah. I know some firefighters.
I always have.
I know.
Because as much as there's really good ones out there, we know a bunch of bad ones.
I really don't know. I'm just saying, I've made thousands of people laugh daily, right? And then I'm like, how many actual lives? I don't count.
You're saying if jokes were fires,
heroin addicts.
Is that what you're saying? If jokes were fires, then we are putting them out daily.
No, I'm just saying, because when you break it down, it's like how much pickleball did you play and how much life saving.
How much cooking are you doing? I'd have to know what your grocery list look like. Are those short ribs?
I'm joking. So
we have a lot of firefighters that listen. It gives us so much love to pick fun at them and then have them they'll pick fun back at us.
Well, my dad was a police officer for 33 years in Jackson, Mississippi, and we were good buddies with the fire department. So, and I tell you what, they had the best food at the fire stations. I will say that. Unless things have drastically changed, but back in the day, the firemen, man, they could cook their heads off.
Yeah, well, they can.
Back in the day, there was a lot more fire hazards, especially in small towns. Like, people were setting their barns on fire, their kids are up there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm just saying, when you're in the suburbs, so you're just putting out some hoarder house fires and
that's a good point. That's a good point, because way back in the day, a siren, or where I grew up, a siren.
Yes, say it right, sir. Please, thank you. My dad said siren.
Grabbed way more attention than it does today.
Yeah.
Because you hear constantly, there's sirens everywhere now. But back in the day, man, you heard a siren, everybody get out in the yard to look and watch. Matter of fact, we were on an ambulance call. I used to work in an emergency ambulance. I did that for 3 years, and we were way back then. They didn't have navigation, and we had this little book that had all the streets, and I'd have to look this up, bouncing in an ambulance, lights and siren. And it's easy in that situation to say, all right, you got to go west on Lamar Street when you meant east. It's easy just to right. And we would turn to go down the wrong street, and of course everybody would fall out of their houses to come look, and then we're like, crap, we got to turn around and go the other direction.
Backing up, you do the Austin Powers.
Look! I'd get on the microphone. There's a much worse emergency. We'll send help.
Shout out from the chat room. Our buddy Ryan says that he first heard you on John Boy and Billy when he was 4 years old.
Right.
He's 40 right now.
Wow.
Dude, I have adults that come up to me and tell me.
I was a John Boy and Billy guy because I was doing work in the Carolinas for a charity at the time, and they were very heavily syndicated around there. They were, and that's where I heard you too.
Right, man. And I have grown-ups that come to my show and go, my parents met you on their first date. Wow. Please don't ever tell me that again. Please don't ever tell me that again.
My experience with that, Bees, is like, and this has happened to me quite frequently in the past couple of years.
You were a kid favorite back in the day.
And this will happen to us at the beer fest where someone will say, I used to listen to you, my dad used to listen to you while he drove me to middle school or high school, and he's like, now I'm a BDM and I have a wife and kids. And oh my God, I went to the army, came back and started a family, and now my kids are grown. Oh my God,
I did 6 tours combat.
It does. You're just like, oh my God, and because it just time ticks by.
Well, you know what he does, which is kind of hard to sit through. He'll be like, yeah. Where do you want the signature? Yeah. Whatever. Where do you want the signature?
You want me to sign your wife's boobs?
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want? You getting to meet me? Is this? I hope it's everything you wanted, kid.
And how do I spell Bob? Because it could be Baughb.
That's true.
You never know these days, man. People have weird names.
They absolutely do. Let's go to the important stuff, Bees.
All right.
Are you making any liquor?
You know what? I will not answer that.
Okay, fair.
Straight out, but I will say the new season will start up in a couple of months, airing. Season 15, we're in season 15
Congratulations,
now.
That's crazy.
And it's season 10 for me, and that blows me away, y'all. And we're talking about the TV show Moonshiners on Discovery Channel. If you happen to be unfamiliar with the show, the gist of it is the Discovery Channel has film crews that follow teams of hillbillies up in the mountains.
I love it when you put it that way.
Cooking up batches of illegal hooch and selling it and hiding from the police on camera.
Have you seen that I'm going for a total hillbilly look?
You nailed it.
I'm going for it.
You nailed it. You need more stains on your shirt.
Okay, I'll work on that. Thank you, Bees.
And just a spit cup. Even if you're not spitting, just have a spit cup.
Fair enough.
And you need a dyed yellow Marlboro lips.
I'll tell you this, though. I have learned that the word hillbilly means a genius in overalls with a spit cup.
Yeah.
Because these mountain people they're so freaking resourceful, man. They know stuff. They are low-key genius. They don't flaunt it because they don't want people messing with them. They don't want all this outside stuff coming into their community. But these cats are absolutely brilliant.
I'm into it.
Absolutely.
I've been following, and I wanted to talk to you about this. I've been following some on YouTube. I think because I'm way back into country music, and somehow I got into. I'm trying to buy a pedal steel guitar, but they're very hard to find.
Wow.
And that's such a horribly ambitious instrument. It's incredibly hard. But I just want to get one because I figure if I can get one and spend time on it. I need time on it to figure out how to play it, right? Anyway, that led me to following hillbillies on YouTube, and I follow a guy that. He shows you all of these like genius hillbilly techniques. Like one of them is that he took like really, really filthy, disgusting fry oil for cooking, and he shows you how his grandma will use water and flour
to clean that oil. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and make it literally like crystal clear, and you can use it again. Or one of them was he'll show you how to take pine needles off a tree, and you put it in a jar with like some water. and you just shake it up and you leave it and let it ferment, it'll turn into what tastes like a carbonated Sprite beverage.
Really?
Yeah, and it's this hillbilly guy, and he shows you all these fun things to do.
Like hillbilly hacks?
It's hillbilly hacks, but he has, I mean, Tom, there's hundreds of them, and they all work. That oil thing was something that my Aunt Alma and Uncle Hayden used to do on their farm. Like, that is just old, like Bees is saying, these are old things that people don't think about, but this is old world hillbilly hacks.
Wait till you see how they do a boob job. there are wasp nests involved. That's all I'll say right now about that. Not the yellow jack. It's got to be the big red wasp. Otherwise, you won't get over a bee cup.
Yeah.
So you got to get the big venom.
Oh, there's people in the chat room saying I've done that's called pine dew drink. It's called a pine dew drink. You pull these pine needles off and you stuff them into a mason jar, and you put like water in it.
It's like it makes a kind of a Sprite. It's almost like Sprite.
But why does it taste like Sprite, not like Pine Sol?
No idea, dude. They're all hillbilly the hacks. I have no idea.
It's weird that it like turns into lemon and lime flavor.
I'll give you another one that I got yesterday. He shows you how to clarify your bacon grease with a trick where you pour, because I've been cooking a lot of bacon for my kid. My kid's obsessed with bacon. It's got to be fried in a pan. It can't be in the oven. It can't be microwaved. It's got to be fried in a pan. So I fry the bacon. I get done. I pour the bacon grease into a mason jar. Well, you fill it up with water while it's hot, not super hot, but hot. You fill it up with water, and then you turn it over, and then what happens is all the particles, like they kind of disperse and float to the top of the water. Well, the bacon grease congeals, so when you flip it over, there's nothing but water on the bottom. You pour it out, and all the impurities are gone.
And then it's just pure. It goes back to pure oil
and it's just
again.
Pure bacon grease, because all you did was use that mixture of water to get the particles out.
Do you know Eric Godfrey? Eric he used to be Carrot Top's tour manager, and he has a company called Bacon King USA.
He gives us bacon. I love his bacon.
Yes,
right,
100%. Yeah.
And if y'all taking his class, he does classes, teaches you to make your own bacon, to cure it and all this. And he uses like 1/10 of the nitrates that they use for the store-bought bacon.
It's delicious.
His bacon is ridiculous.
Right,
he sent us some as a gift when we were working with Porky's Comedy Club. He sent us some as a gift, and my kid ate it all up. She's like, "Can you get more?" I'm like, "Well, not quickly. I mean, I got to find him and talk to him."
Bacon King USA. We love him, so we'll plug him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man.
I wear his Bacon King shirt all the time. It's a good shirt.
I use bacon grease to get my boots on and off.
So we took a little hillbilly turn there. I like it.
So, Bees,
yes, sir.
Daniel was talking to you about the Grand Ole Opry kind of before we started, and I want
to go to Nashville with the family. I want to take the kid to see a show so she can. I was looking at the lineups, and I want to get one where there's like a good mixture of like a new person, and I want a comedian, and then I want an old timer.
Well, do this, man. Stay in touch, because corporate's waiting on our new schedule for the Opry. Okay. Come up. When I'm there,
I would love to see you,
and we can do the whole backstage thing with y'all. Y'all can come hang out. Come hang out in dressing room number 6.
I might cry a little bit, because that's like a lot. That's a famous place.
But seriously, man, we can do that for you. I'd love to. That'd be fun as all get out.
That would be really fun. Nashville's just got so many cool things to do. We've got so many friends there. Our buddy Logan's out there. Our buddy Brock is out there. I've got tons of friends that live there. It seems like a lot of Orlando people have some strange entertainment connection to Nashville. You get a lot of people going there, so I would love to go there and check it out.
Well, that is where my career popped. I went from Jackson, Mississippi to Nashville. Zany's Comedy Club brought me to Nashville in 1984, I think, something either 84 or 85.
Yeah.
And I did all the TNN shows, CMT, all that stuff. So that really was where I popped. I've done more shows at Zany's Nashville than anybody in the history of that showroom.
And Zany's Nashville is like, when you mention Zany's, it's
an iconic
the one you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's like
so. Do that. Come up when I'm there, man, because we can hook that up, man.
That'd be super fun. Like, what's it like the first time you play the Opry? I mean, how many times have you done it now?
26. But the first time you're there, you're just wide eyed. You're in awe, just like, oh my gosh, and you're in intimidated. You don't know what to do. But after 26, man, I know everybody. I go, what up? Hey, man. You know where to go. Yeah.
Well, you were included in the Opry's 100. I mean, like they,
right.
I mean, like, so to give in perspective, the Opry is celebrating 100 years.
Yeah.
And they, like, to be invited to, I'm giving myself goosebumps. I'm triggering myself to be invited to be like, hey, we're celebrating 100 years. Oh, yeah. Like, also, not a ton of comedians, you know, to be included in that and invited to do that, right? Like, that's like...
Dude, and they make show bills and give it to the artist, and they've got me listed way up at the top on my appearances during Opry 100. So it's really, really neat, man. They've been waiting now. And I'll say this, back in old-timey days when I was working Blue... They would, and was in Nashville, the Opry would not hire me. And I was offended because their stance was that if some of their listeners, some of their fans saw me at the Opry doing a clean set, then came to Zany's and saw a dirty set, that they would feel like they were kind of been set up by the people at the Opry. And I was offended, and I came this close, dude. I was so close to cutting an album called Banned from the Grand Ole Opry. Whoa. But I didn't, and now... years later, I'm a regular there, and so I'm glad I didn't do that.
No, that's a pick your battle.
That's correct.
That's a good lesson about
take a beat,
not burning bridges.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because like sometimes it feels so good to burn a bridge, and sometimes like right at that time, burning the bridge will get everybody to look. Because they're like, oh, he's burning it.
Well, it's a fire.
You know? And so they'll look at the fire and they'll watch the bridge burn and you'll get the attention. But then after it's burned and the smoke's gone, and
then it's gone.
Then it's gone. And then years later, you're like, oh, they'll remember I can't go back. And then it's like, oh, it was just like a, you know, and now look how many times you perform there. And now you're a part of the Grand Ole Opry, like, history. And that wouldn't have happened probably if you would have made that decision. So.
Correct.
It's a good lesson, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, for that area, too, I mean, like, and you never, because they're always updating who performs. You know, there's an interesting story. I think her name is Elle King. Mm-hmm. She's a country singer, but I think she started actually, like, in pop.
I think I've been on with her.
You may have
and
been.
Kelsey Ballerini.
Well, Elle, she's Rob Schneider's daughter.
Okay.
And I think they're estranged or whatever. That's not my business. But what's interesting about that is she went on and they were doing a tribute to Dolly Parton. And she was very nervous. It may have been one of her first times at the
that's
Opry.
right.
And she was doing
I remember that.
She was doing some shots, and she got on there, and she basically said some things about, like, I'm messing up the effing words and this, and that, and the other thing. And it was on the stage there, and you don't do that. And apparently she got a phone call from Dolly Parton because it was a tribute to Dolly.
Oh, man.
And Dolly basically said, I've been there. We all do this. You're fine. You know, she did it the Dolly way, like, get yourself together. You'll be fine. All is forgiven, kind of a Dolly way. And then I think that turned her straight up. She's like, I'm sober now. Sober for now.
Well, I've been through that. I've been in a 44-year career. You know, I've done some things that should not have been done on stage, walked on stage when I had no business being on stage, so I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and those are tough lessons that you have to learn.
But at the time,
but they stick.
When you walk on, you're like, I can do this. You're pretty confident.
You're kind of winging it, you're loose. The first 3 seconds, you're dancing and you're like doing it, but then oh, man.
Yeah. It just goes to show you, like, that's, you know, and this has kind of been a narrative within the past 10 years about, stand-ups and being on stage and being able to perform and the reps it takes to do that, as opposed to, you know, social media people like, hey, I got this huge following, I can pack the room, but then you don't have any reps on stage, and then you're falling, you're flopping, it's like you didn't build it as a muscle, and you didn't build it, and you didn't do it the right way, and now this is what's happening.
And that's insightful, because there's a lot of that going on, man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then so that's gotten me to appreciate guys like Bees and total pros that have done. I mean, how many reps do you have, Bees? After I mean, you could. It's impossible to quantify.
He could get close to how many shows you've done, because you keep a pretty organized schedule
and a pretty heavy schedule.
Yeah, you work.
Too. So
I mean, nonstop. Like, have you ever taken any long breaks in your career?
not anything. Well, I did. My parents got killed in a car wreck in 2005.
Okay, yes.
Great job, Tom. Wonderful job. Great job.
I'm sorry.
And so I took about a year or so, year and a half, because just nothing was funny to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
But other than that, I've tried to stay busy, to stay working, because you got to practice it, man. Ring rust is a real thing in all performing arts. And I will say this, I believe that spoken word is arguably the toughest art form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spoken word is tough because every syllable, every inflection has meaning or loses meaning. So it's a very detail-intensive art form. And for these cats who are really doing well, killing it on social media, and going out and selling out big rooms, if you look at it, they'll have 4 comics at a time and stuff like that, because you've got to really have that skill level built up to do an hour of a material to close that show.
Yeah, of course. That hour is an eternity.
And you don't get that by doing selfies.
Or minimum, like skits.
Or little videos or little quips on the internet, which could be just crowd work.
But even if you built an hour beforehand, you didn't practice it in front of an audience. And that's another thing with there's no substitute for. It seems like, because in all the stand-ups, and I really try to understand it, because I feel like when you understand something, it's kind of like why I like the NFL so much, because I've really dedicated myself to understanding it. And then when you get better on knowing all the teams and knowing everything, and then it's more entertaining. So then when you dive into understanding what stand-up is doing, then it's more entertaining when you're like, oh, okay, like, wow, like, you appreciate this person's craft and how much time they put into this craft, and then you're watching a piece of art at this point, especially with bees. Like he's like so good and been doing it for so long. It's like that's where,
and so many stories,
the appreciation comes.
How often are you switching things up when you're doing it?
I try to switch it up a lot.
Do you think of something sometimes and you're just like, I've done this so long, hell, I'm going to go this direction? You do that, right?
Yeah. Because you an important part of comedy is the element of surprise.
Sure.
So you can get away with doing the same material for a little bit, but then you've got to have new stuff that surprises them. That turn of a phrase at the end that they're not expecting. You need that. That's what makes it entertaining to people. Because we've all seen comics where we know what's going to come next. We've not seen the bit, but I was thinking that. You want to do it so that they don't know what's coming next. And sometimes you don't know what's coming next, so
strap in. Yeah, that's the fun part. You
but
did something too. I just want to call you out this in a positive way. He did something before we brought him on. We had Scart and Dom from the Supervillains, and immediately started introducing yourself to him, and a bell went off in my head. I'm like, that's why he's a success. You're putting yourself out there at all times. Newer generation people. If you're in a room with newer generation people, and you're not. And you haven't introduced them to a stranger sitting in the room, they're not going to introduce themselves to the person. 100% of the time, they're not going to do that. I bet my daughter's life on it, and they're not going to do it.
Well, I'm looking at my phone.
But you did that. You were like, hey, what's your... And you just started doing that. And I'm like, but that's how you meet people. And because who knows? Like, you started talking guitars with Scart, I think.
Right,
I was just trying to eavesdrop in here, and I was like, oh, my God, Bees is doing it. That's how he's... That's why he's a success.
Well, to me, it's honoring that person. It's to show respect. Don't just stand and look at somebody.
Yeah, that's old school.
Be respectful. Be humble enough to go, hey, man, I'm Bees.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. That's what I think.
It's cool. It's kind of sad. I'm listening to that book, Let Them. It's real popular. Right now, it's like a self-help book. But basically what sucks is that the book is basically describing all the things that Bees does naturally, like just putting yourself out there and showing respect to somebody by, like, complimenting them, like, oh, hey, I like your jacket. What's your name? Like, that sort of a thing is something we used to do, and we've lost it so much now that people are writing books and selling it like it's new stuff.
You know what?
That's crazy, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right,
but
right.
Bees has the advantage of growing up when there was no cell phone, so he didn't get addicted to it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get addicted
Have
to
you
it.
found yourself getting addicted to it now, at all?
I do. I do because I like information.
Yeah.
And it is so quick to get information. You know, that's the thing. Used to, you'd have to cut the TV set on and sit in front of the news for 30 minutes to hear that one line of something you were wondering about.
Right.
You know,
You're right.
But
and that taught
literally,
you patience too.
No,
right?
and I do, and this I make this argument with my wife, where she's like, "Get off your phone! You're staring at her too much." And I'm like, "I'm listening to an AI little girl tell me about how submarine ballast tanks work."
Right.
You know, like because I'm just scrolling different.
Right. Honey, do you know how submarine ballast? Well, then you get let me teach you.
Like, it's not like I'm just meaning, like, it's interesting stuff to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, about, like, information about Washington
Which I
State.
think the part you're not piggybacking is I think she'd rather you spend time with her than the little girl explaining the
submarine ballast tanks.
Right. She wants you to
It's so much more interesting than what my wife has to say.
She wants attention on her. What was she talking about at the time?
Oh, God, who knows? Just a bunch of nonsense.
So now she's learning. She's boning up on displacement.
No, she doesn't learn anything.
Ballast.
Boning up on displacement.
What makes stuff float?
Yeah.
No, but you're right in that fact is that especially like your generation where like information used to be, and it's like my kids will never understand. Like there was things that nobody knew. There's there was questions that a group of people in a room had and no one knew.
No,
and
now most things are known, but people don't believe them.
Well, now you know what? I think everybody, like, if you have any question, your phone can answer it, and then everybody's like, okay, and they move on, and like that's a crazy.
Except
time.
for one, whether or not our phones are listening to us.
Yeah.
Well, Google that. Nobody will give you a straight answer.
You can tell that already when you stop at a red light. Nobody looks at you anymore.
Yeah.
You see it beep. They're waving. Oh, cool. Now they're just like, dude, you got a low tire.
Yeah. Oh,
But
nobody would ever do that anymore.
But it's all about quick information. That's why that's what killed the encyclopedia business.
Yeah.
The internet and the quick access to information. If you remember back in old-timey days, everybody's home that had children had encyclopedias in there, the whole set.
That's how I did reports, book reports. I would go to this dusty encyclopedia and look up information that was 30 years old.
Right. When I was bored,
a 9-pound encyclopedia.
But when I was bored as a kid, what I would do is I would go to my encyclopedias and I would pull one out that I thought I hadn't dog-eared or something, right? Like it hadn't been used. I just go I'll get O. And I pull out O, and then I'd open it up, and then I just start. I mean, does this make me a simpleton caveman? But I would just start going through the pages, and that's what I would be doing on a Tuesday afternoon.
Well, that was all you had.
I liked S.
Yeah, are you an S?
S because that was a thick one.
It was a thick one.
It had snakes. It had swords.
In the World Book, and somebody's going to write me and say they remember this. There was one encyclopedia. I think it was the H encyclopedia for human body. There was inside the World Book. There was a series of, they were plastic sheets, and it would start with skin, and then
go through the layers
the layers of your body and show you organs. And that one was a fan favorite too. I would always pick that one up. I mean, let's see what the organs look like today, and I would go through all the.
Would you ever laugh at the word gonad?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm a gonad guy, but never made me laugh harder than the business Menards. Yeah, Menards I always laughed at, and that's Southern as well.
So, Bees, I tell my sons, I'm like, man, you don't realize how good you have it, because on road trips, they just, look at their, iPads, or unlimited, unlimited entertainment, whatever they want, for us, how long, if you don't have to repeat or whatever. Like, I remember my mom in the 90s had a conversion van, and we used to put VHS tapes
what do you watch,
up in the refrigerator.
Barney, Mac and Me?
Ace Ventura.
Okay, that's a little adult, but funny.
That have the TV up in the ceiling.
Yeah. And then
he was rich. He had that Tropic Traveler conversion van. The one that would lay flat in the back. Was it a button control?
So I'm a little younger than you guys. So I still had the conversion van TV, and then I had a Game Boy. There was a small time before 8 years old. I guess there was nothing, but I don't remember. But you guys, especially Bees, you had family trips, nothing.
Yeah. We would get to wherever we were going, and we would know how many cars we saw with only one headlight working.
You looked out the window.
Yeah, we could too. Yeah, we had to look out the window. We could tell you where there was a fire.
I was little, though. I was super little. So, a lot of what I did was, I would lay in the floorboard and just daydream, staring straight up at the headliner.
The daydream.
I'd be laying on the floorboard, where your feet go. I wouldn't sit in the seat with a seatbelt on or anything. I'd lay in the floor and just be looking up at the ceiling, playing with a toy I brought along, like an action figure. Or something.
Here's what, not to get serious about how the kids these days, but I do worry about the bored mind and the daydreaming and stuff that we were forced to do because there was nothing else. Now, obviously, we would be playing games on our iPads if we had them. It's not like we were had the discipline to be
Well, I'd be doing drugs right now if I had them. What are you talking about?
But we were forced to daydream and just be with our own thoughts, and I feel like that is we evolved that way.
But that's where you invent things, right? That's where you come up with concepts and your creativity and write jokes.
Yeah, but kids that's not a thing. They're not forced to do that.
We'll have less creativity moving forward.
Is that true, or is it going to be it's the same?
Well, the input, cerebrally, the input versus the output is different these days than it was back then. Because the exact thing you're saying.
It's got to be, right?
Right. The thinking has been done for you already.
Yes.
These days. So, I mean, of course, kids think, what am I going to wear to cosplay?
Or whatever it is. Yeah. But they are thinking less. It has to be because you can now be entertained. You're never left alone with your thoughts if you don't want to be. You have to have the self-discipline to be I'm not looking at my phone.
It's the creation aspect that bothers me is that, if everything you're doing is consuming and taking in, then when are you reaching that? I know what it's like to reach a breaking point where I'm bored. I have to now, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Rather than just shooting it into my eyes, I'm I'm going to have to go outside and take this machete that my dad gave me and chop this tree. And I know that's really stupid, but it's at least a decision and it's something I'm acting on rather than something I'm shooting into my brain.
Or when you did stare out the window on the family trip,
you might have written something.
You were thinking about stuff you were lost in your thoughts.
I'm a superhero. You create a character. You create you create an army guy. You create something sinister. I'm a serial killer.
Yeah, man, wouldn't it be cool if that guy fell off that tractor? Hope he does it while I'm looking. Whoa.
And I know there's a lot of parents and non-parents out there who are you could just tell your kids not to get on their devices. Well, you try that.
Really.
You know how hard a road trip is when your kids are have no devices?
When they're awake? When they're awake?
Yeah. They're bored as hell. My God. Anyway. So, Bees, again, let me plug.
Yeah.
You're going to Mazurek Winery, November 15th. It's this Saturday in Brooksville, Florida.
You can get your wine on.
Yeah. And
it's really beautiful out there, man. That's a nice looking venue.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Here's where you get your tickets. KillerBeaz.com. That's KillerBeaz.com. You can get your tickets. Enjoy a comedy legend.
Yeah.
I mean, Beaz said it himself. He's only going to be doing this 7 more years. You're 50. But even you hit 50, you're let's go 60. You got to just keep going, Beaz.
I mean, we talked to George Wallace earlier this week. I mean, how old is he now? 73, 78?
He's in his 49th year.
Jeez,
I spoke with him a little while ago. He's in his 49th year.
Wow.
And so
unreal, man.
Yeah.
Dude, and then he's still sharp too. You too.
Both of you guys are. Yeah. I mean, but I think the reps help you.
it has to.
I mean, think of all the reps you could get daydreaming at your windows. You're driving and they start crafting my comedy show.
So some days even though I'm doing the show, I'm like, I can't think of this word.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, it's coming to get me.
You don't seem to have that problem, but maybe you and I are addicted to drugs.
All the damn drugs.
There's that part.
Yeah, we do a lot of drugs.
Well, no one said it was bad.
Yeah, but tell you what, we see pretty stuff. I can't think up a word, but man, look at that poster over there. Woo!
The moonshine is pure gasoline. That's got to do something.
Myrna, go get that wasp nest so you can fill that bikini up.
Go do it.
Bees, thanks so much.
We love you,
man. Love y'all, man. Thanks
for
guys.
stopping by, man. And hey, we'll be right back.
Yep. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Jeff and Casey Howell are here.
We're back.
And so I want to talk to Jeff about a European trip is expensive. The plane flight, and then 5
Food,
weeks.
lodging.
Yeah, food and lodging is expensive.
You could have been stuck over there if you were a couple months later.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So did you, let's talk about the lodging.
Sure.
Did you stay with a lot of people?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, actually, I only stayed in hotel rooms out of 5 weeks. I think I've only stayed in hotels about 10 days.
Do you feel like the Europeans? Because I felt like this when we went to Sweden, even though that we went and saw Crystal's family, but in general, a lot more hospitable.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, my God.
They're a lot less paranoid than Americans for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you should be more paranoid. A lot more has happened here. like Genghis Khan killed half of you.
Yeah.
But you're not.
But see, they got all that over with.
That desensitized them.
Okay.
That was horrible. Genghis was a horrible man.
Yeah. But it is weird that they're seemingly more hospitable than Americans.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, and I've said
you spit on your own kind, boy. You do it on another show. You do it on another show. This is a goddamn American show, and I'm a patriot. So you want to do this? You walk on down the block. Walk on home, boy.
Yeah, we're the friendliest people in the world. And if you don't think so, I'll kill you.
With my gun.
I got lots. I got a lot of guns.
Yeah, here's what I've always said. I love being from somewhere else. Because I traveled, when I first got on the road with Clutch, I was 18 years old, but I got to see the entire United States, got to go to Canada, got to go to Saudi Arabia. I always like being from somewhere else because when you meet people, all of a sudden there's an instant connection of, oh my God, where are you from? And you start talking and accents and finding out people and learning about. I always love that. Fortunately for me, the places I went this time, well, I will tell you this. Americans dropped a few notches after this last election, okay?
Oh, okay.
Haven't heard anything.
Yeah, what happened?
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm very happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
My notches are sky high.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Where are your notches
I was watching the news this morning, and it's the highest notches they've ever knocked.
I got there on a Sunday, and it was a guy playing, in the afternoon inside, and there wasn't many people in Casey's bar in Wexford.
Gotcha.
And there was this young kid, drunk, having a great time. He's going around all the songs. I love this song. So he comes up to me. He goes, you like this song? I go, yeah. He goes, where you from? And I said, well, I'm from Orlando, but originally from Louisiana. And he goes, F Trump.
Yeah. What did he have to figure out where are you for or against?
Yeah. What kind of American are you? I've seen that movie.
Yeah. So I started laughing. I said, look, dude, we're on the same page. I said, look, I said, but I get so much of this in America. I don't even talk about it. I don't watch the news. I'm not even going to talk about it. So no offense. I'm not. And then he went, I'm so sorry. He goes, oh, get this man a beer. And he and for 5 weeks, that guy bought me a beer every time he saw me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You must have really, like he was
so every
he's just razzing you a little bit. He didn't want it to be maybe that bad.
It's just Irish hospitality, right?
He was drunk, and a lot of people feel that way. In fact, a couple of people told me, he said, look, if you go to a town, take a trip to a town, he goes, ask the locals where the rougher bars are. He goes, because there are people that are ready to beat Americans up, just because they're so mad. Yeah. A couple of bars, yeah.
So
I didn't mean to bring the show down.
Europeans up. It works both ways, guys. It works both ways.
Well,
no wonder Genghis Khan went over there and dominated.
Genghis had it right, obviously. Look at these jerks trying to beat you up. I can't take anything seriously.
But anyway,
I'm sorry.
So I moved in with him.
What, as far as, is there anything that you spent money on that is like a pure tourist type of thing?
Yeah.
In your 5 weeks, okay.
This hat.
Okay, that hat.
I like that hat. That's a cool hat.
Well, I was telling
nice
Daniel,
ombre.
that a good friend of mine that I've worked for here in town, Kevin Casey, lovely wife Julie, sweet people. Last year, the year before, he told me, he said, I want a Wexford Football Club hat.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And I said, but he goes, let me bring you the money. I said, no, wait till I get it. I said, because I get busy, I get distracted. So I totally forgot about it, And then this time I wrote him and I said, I'm going to get you one. And I went to every sports store, and it's only 20,000 people that live in this town. This is a professional football club. Nobody had a hat. So finally, I just saw this one store that was just a general store, and it had a Adidas hat. And I said, well, let me just go in here and check. I checked, and the lady said, oh, yeah, this is it. And I said, it's football club? Yeah. And I bought it.
But not for Americans, I'm afraid. So move along.
She, do you like Trump? And I went, no. So anyway, she sold me the hat. It was like 20 euros, something like that. I go home, and I take a picture of it, and I send it to him. He goes, that's not what I was looking for.
I hate that hat.
Not quite it.
So,
not my style.
So I kept it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That hat's kind of gay.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing that.
But I think this is more of the, not rugby, but hurling, hurling, the game hurling.
What's hurling?
Oh, my God. This is the craziest game. Because Casey played lacrosse.
Yeah.
And lacrosse,
I remember you were a lacrosse guy.
Yeah, he was a great little lacrosse
You were
player.
a good lacrosse player.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And it's their version of lacrosse, but instead of metal and nets, they just use a big wooden spoon. A big, heavy wooden spoon.
A ladle.
Yeah, a ladle.
So it's like Chef Wars.
No pads. It's like rugby with 2x4s.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the soup or bowl.
How the hell do you catch a ball? Are they throwing a ball?
They're throwing an egg.
Yeah,
they wear a chef's outfit.
They're blindfolded and they got to walk.
Because
Ratatouille.
with lacrosse, obviously you're catching it in the net.
And then you always constantly do that thing that's annoying where you swirl it back and forth so it doesn't fall out.
Yeah.
And I look at lacrosse players, I'm like, stop twisting that thing.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
If you
Show
play
off.
with it, you're going to go blind.
More than 2 shakes. And
Yeah, thank you.
In hurling, the ball is made of melted tar.
Whoa, it's a tar baby?
I didn't take that one.
I don't know. I just,
But you're my hero.
My friend
You're my hero.
What the hell?
We'll be playing a Klan rally.
No, absolutely not. I won't be there.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't know.
Speaking of which,
that's our time.
It threw me off. I had nothing else.
Is the ball made of tar? The ball's made of tar.
I had where'd you get that
have you
Made it out of
practiced?
some sheets.
Have you practiced any racism?
So Jeff, all right. So you, when you're playing in a different country, do the people want traditional American? Do they request?
They were like Bruce Springsteen.
Do they try to request something? Because they love "Take Me Home, West Virginia."
Oh, yeah, that's
Country
big.
Roads.
Every country over there, that song is the brown-eyed girl. Of,
Yes, it's weird that became so popular because that happened when on our honeymoon we went to Germany. I've told this story before, but that was 2008. And remember, I was in a German club and everyone was singing "Take Me Home, West Virginia."
Yeah.
I remember coming back on the radio and being like, "They love this song." And that was before we said. Then I remember
they did it multiple times. They did it once where you were at the. They did it at the beer fest.
Yeah.
Because everyone was standing on the tables, and you said they were singing it there, and then they did it somewhere else, right?
And I remember before, like, we saw it on social media, but it had already been this hugely popular song. And now, like, obviously when the NFL plays over there, like, they play it in the stadium and they go crazy. And then, like, I remember showing Crystal when I first saw it on the NFL games. I'm like, see, like, this is a thing all throughout Europe. And I don't know why.
Have you been to country road? Have you been on the road? There's country.
Why it's so weird that just randomly became the most popular American song in Europe.
But I will tell you, and Casey will back me up on this. When we played there last year, the year before, those kids over there, like we were playing one night, and a bachelorette party came in. So this is like 10 or 15 20 to 25-year-old girls, coming in here. And I'm going, oh, my God, they're going to boo us off stage. You know, because like in America, if they came in, they'd hear one song that I would play. They'd go, we're out of here. They knew all the words.
This guy's so sus. This old man is so sus.
Oh, I got
it. So, looks like Jeffrey Epstein.
He's Jewish too, by the way. So they, but they knew all the words to the songs. They sing. They know. They listen to all kinds of music. They don't pigeonhole. Now they know all the modern stuff too. You know, whatever the kids are listening to, but they know, and they know in Ireland. They know all their traditional songs. I mean, songs that are like 5 or 6.
There's a cultural appreciation there for like the old timers, and they're like, "Oh, well, hold on, show some respect to that fiddle guy back." You know,
way, and they like the music. Yeah, that's the craziest thing. They like the old stuff. So Norway, same way. And we went to Marit brought me to a biker bar, a Viking biker bar.
Like a Finnish biking bar? Like you're in Norway, so what is... Yeah, that's...
No, it's Norwegians. And listen, Norwegians are Vikings originally.
Were they humongous bikers?
Big, huge, yeah. And you know how they wear, you know, like when you go into a club, they wear... Most biker clubs that you would go to locally would be motorcycle clubs, not gangs.
Yeah, they put their colors on.
Yeah, and they say, don't come in here with your Hells Angels or your Banditos.
No colors allowed.
Yeah,
that's what that
over
means.
There, they had both. They had motorcycle club and they had Hells Angels. They had an outlaw. And in America, if you had that in a bar, guns and knives are coming.
Oh yeah, they all mix well, especially in Florida. We have a lot of biker gangs
over there. Everybody was just happy. They were just and they loved the music and the band that went up there. It's a father and son group. Guess what the name of their band is?
Does it have to do with tar?
Father and son. Yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah,
I like that.
And they did every sing-along from Johnny Cash to Britney Spears. And everybody in the bar, I've got videos of it, and everybody in the bar is just... They're screaming and singing along. It was wonderful. But they listened to all kinds of music, is the point.
And Norway was cool, right?
It is so gorgeous.
Was that your favorite
nice as hell there, too.
What's that?
Like, everybody's nice as hell in Norway, too.
Oh, yeah, sweet. And they most of them speak English. Most places we go in Europe, they speak 2 languages.
Yeah.
We got one.
No, I know. That's why we're the best.
What's
I don't bother to learn.
Place. That's the winner.
I don't need to learn any other language. That's, America.
I got the best one.
Casey, where are you going to be at? Let's hit some plugs again.
Let's see if I got the right paper this time. Friday, we will be at the Big Belly BBQ Bash, Tom Fellows Community Center in Davenport.
All right.
We will be playing 5 to 9, Jeff Howell Trio. Come out and see us. Sunday, I will be at the Winter Park Tibby's, 11 to 2. Me and Tom Hollis will be there doing the New Orleans brunch.
Love it.
And Sunday, old Pops will be at the Lucky Lure doing an acoustic set after SMCD.
Oh, that's
1:30 to 4:30.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's good to see Joseph and Jesse, too.
Yeah, Lucky Lure's a good little bar, man.
Yeah, go there and watch the Sunday morning coming down.
And stay for Jeff Howell. That's awesome. That's a treat.
Yeah, and they're raising money. They have a bartender there that I don't know quite what happened, but he fell upon hard times, and they're raising money for. His name is Jared. Nice guy. And,
go out there and help out somebody. I mean, obviously, if Joseph and Jesse are vouching for the guy, then I'm sure he's salt of the earth awesome.
Absolutely.
And help out those hospitality people that take care of us. You know?
And they're doing the rescue thing with Judy. Judy.
Beautiful.
She's awesome.
Man, Joseph and Jesse are awesome. They're great folks.
I love them.
All right, we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.